Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. I am your GM and chronicler for this evening, Midgeman. But before we get on with tonight's broadcast, I have a few things to cover. The first thing being, we have a new piece of merch that has dropped on our merch store. There's all sorts of variants of it. My favorite, I think, is the apron. But essentially, for you to go and discover, we now finally have our Pinatucci's food trays, pizza parlor, restaurant merch, which was meant to be coming out for our 2-year anniversary. Now available. Also, patrons are going to be getting downloadable versions, both transparent and not, of the little Pinatucci drawing and art that was done by someone that by the person who does the channel emote art on my Twitch channel, which is just KT. Also go check them out. We'll also be making Pinatucci probably an emote on this channel as well. So yes, thank you to them for that. I love how it's come out. It looks really cool. Other than that, also, patrons. Best way to support this channel is through Patreon. If you do so, we get the biggest share of cut from that, and all of our money goes back into creating fun and unique broadcasts like the ones we have. Right, I want to play some D&D, so let us get on with tonight's broadcast. And we are back. So, we'd like to do the recap this week, I believe.
Attempt it.
Yeah, go for it.
So forgive me if I don't get the names correct, as I can't read my own handwriting a week after I've written things down. We were sitting in the destroyed city in the Vestilian theocracy, attempting to ascertain what in the humdiggery-doody nonsense was going on out here. Because it seemed like the people that were running the show couldn't find the rear ends with both hands, a flashlight, and a 5-man working party. The nobles didn't know what they wanted to do. The theologians were holed up in their castle, not agreeing on who was in charge, and the people who were on the other side of the river and the ruins couldn't get the help they needed. So Skyfire set out about doing that. Zet was doing construction work, and the rest of us were trying to figure out what the heck is going on with these sorry, read chat. Going on with these Seals of Elendor. God, getting old and I don't like it. I went to a kind of another one of those organizations whose name escapes me because I can't read my own writing, that also had one that was guarded. This was one of pieces of Brayla's heart. And they said, we got it, don't worry about it. There's like 4 of us left, but we're good. Didn't not a lot of good vibes there from the Skyfire. And the other one is currently being held by the ecclesiarchy inside of the destroyed cathedral, who also are very tight-lipped about not letting anybody get to them.
Stonekeepers. That was
those guys. Thank you. Sure, that works. So a plan was deduced that we're going to help out the people while we can, but in order to get these groups together as a little bit, they felt like they needed some outside pressure. So Sol transported herself back to Reshin in Lagran's land to grab Zedaar, So they could then travel to other places and perhaps have an audience with those who might be able to enforce a little bit of discipline upon the religious sects that just can't seem to see the bigger picture. That is Beth's abridged version of the recap.
Hey, that's pretty darn good. You definitely get your point of inspiration for that. Yes, so you did start wading through the mess and rubble, both societally and physically, that was the capital of the Thistilian theocracy. And we left off with Ruby transporting herself to Reshen and seeing some of the destruction that had taken place there.
Which was also attacked, yes.
Yes. As well as the rest of you beginning to I believe you were regrouping in the center of town to essentially get on with searching for what you could hear. We're gonna go to the majority of the party first, just to outline where are you guys going now.
Breton was reconvening with the commander of the watch, Widwin, to basically provide the actual aid that they had promised in their what is now basically a bit of a subterfuge in trying to figure out what is going on.
Yep. Yes, you were playing interference essentially, weren't you? That was the idea with Breton. They were gonna, like, whilst there was a group of you that was going to be getting to the bottom of things in less overt manners, because I believe it's broke into two groups. It was Zep and Breton are actually helping, and the other group with Zaraj, James, Valmir, and Darius, as well as Darius' sister, are going to be exploring and trying to see if they can find hidden agents within the city. As a reminder to actually everyone watching the broadcast, because I forgot to do it right at the beginning, and I constantly forget that there are slightly heavier themes in this arc currently, so viewer discretion is advised. Okay, good. I remember to cover that. So, yes. Okay. Breton, you approach the guard captain again. She hasn't left her post from the last time you saw her. It's only been a couple of hours, but she is furiously organizing as much as she can at that really ragged table under a half tent in the town square. You see currently she's talking to one individual, slightly older human, grayish hair, rounded glasses, leather apron. He's got a mallet at his hip. Really Giuseppe looking individual, like Pinocchio's dad kind of guy. It looks to be an artisan of some sort. And his hands are just completely covered with like stone powder, like where they've been either moving rubble or like breaking bricks in some way.
Then on the approach, Breton's going to start with Commander. So we've got good news and bad news. The bad news is we haven't been able to deal with the bandits outright immediately. But the good news is that we have come up with something that should prevent it from being a problem in the future. Namely, one of our crew, Zap Skyspan, the resident, well, know pretty much everything he needs to, an expert in this sort of field, is looking to build a way for people to access the other side of the wall. Once that happens, it should be able to get support back and forth across the side of the cities.
Well, that would definitely help.
Yeah.
I was wondering why he started on this section here, but I've been too busy to really worry about it. How long does Master Skyspan think it will take?
I don't think that was something that Zep told Breton. I'm racking my brain that I don't remember that being mentioned at all.
I don't think anyone has worked out roughly how long it will take.
So Breton will say, unfortunately, I don't have that information. You'll have to ask him personally when he's had more time to work on it. But he's dedicated to doing it, and it's just his utmost priority. The rest of the crew are spreading out throughout the city to aid what help they can, and I'm here because, well, quite frankly, I'm always at my best when I'm attached to the head of the situation.
She nods. Well, maybe you could. Maybe you could help Bethor here. Just pointing to the man with the leather apron. Bethor started. Him and a group of the volunteers have been working, not in the main rubble area, but actually on restoring one of the entrances towards the back of, the northwestern side of the cathedral. It came down and was crushed by a part of the falling stone, but the rest of the building around it is mostly intact. It was kind of under the falling arc. But if we could get that entrance opened, we'll have another route into parts of the cathedral that we haven't been able to get to, just simply. And Bethel was slightly concerned because he heard things coming from parts of the graveyard there.
Then I'll make it a priority.
Yes. I simply don't have any other paladins to take a look. But then Bethor kind of just rubs his hands together. So, it was one of the as we started moving the stones, we started getting a bit of a reaction from what seemed like the ground around us. It was not subsidence either. It was kind of a moaning from beneath the soil.
Strange. You can go ahead and leave me there. We'll look at it now.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah, follow me. And he begins to lead you off. Are you going alone?
Everybody else is their own. I think the only person who we didn't figure out where they were going was Valmir.
Yes. For sure.
So that's entirely up to Valmir of where Valmir would have been going.
I probably would have been looking to try and heal as many people, help as many people with, like, just trying to help. So I guess probably going with Breton.
Okay, so Valmir and Breton are heading to the graveyard then. That makes sense. Okay. Totally fine. You guys do that. Okay, so you guys start heading there. Valmir and Breton, you are led to part of a large kirkyard that is sort of there's various, like, churchyards and graveyards that pitter around the city. Like, a lot of them are, like, named, and you've kind of gotten the idea of this. Not that a lot of them remain relatively intact, but, like, every now and then you head to areas which is, like, in between houses there are what were open spaces, and you catch a glimpse of, like, entrance gates and, like, little bits of signs that say, like, the orders graveyard. So, like, and you get the impression that, as with a lot of holy cities, you do have a lot of different graveyards for, like, different faiths, etc. But the one you're led to is right off of the main cathedral complex. It seems to be almost like the cathedral's graveyard. And as you enter, you both instantly sort of notice that there is a almost subtle mist layer within the graveyard that initially from a distance could look like just like a mist layer forming around like the heavy cold and the ice, but something sort of twigs your divine senses.
Because we both have that now.
We do, in fact, both have that now, yes.
Does it feel like what kind of tweaking of the senses is it? Like, does it feel evil, or does it feel undead, or what kind of feeling we're getting?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Do we have a thing called thing? I'm new to this.
Divine sense is
That's
what it's called.
the one. Yes. I'm going to... The divine sense thing you were just talking about. What's it called? Yeah.
Divine sense, yes.
I'm
911. What's the number for that? 911.
Basically, I would like to use divine sense.
Okay. You definitely feel as you tap into your divine sense, an unnerving feeling like fills up your body, almost like the imagination and where your mind drags you feels like that your skin burns and dies and necrotic and turns into like a necrotized version. Like you see your hands almost go black with evil, and yeah, you're definitely getting an undead sense here, which both of you roll a religion check.
Oh damn!
Religion.
I haven't had to do one of these in a while. Religion is intelligence?
Yes.
Yes.
That's a 3.
Okay.
That's a 13.
And this...
That's a persuasion check. I apologize. That's
okay.
Too lower.
Too lower? Well,
or 11.
DC was 10 for you, so you're like,
okay.
That shouldn't happen because churchyards, especially ones of cathedrals in such a prominent place, should be hallowed, yes.
I'll write that down so I know for next time. I'm new to the paladin sit. Like, it's, you know, we gotta learn things.
This is turning into a paladin buddy cop movie.
I was thinking, I was like, this is just gonna boil down to like Breton showing Valmir the ropes for his first outing as a paladin.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a new book and I'm writing on the front of it, Paladin for Dummies, and I'm just writing all my paladin notes in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Actually, Breton will ask, Valmir, do you have the ability to detect magic at the moment? Can you tell if the graveyard is hallowed? Because there should be a lingering magical effect if the area is protected.
Are we talking detect magic as in the detect magic spell?
That is a way to do it, yes.
No.
Then Breton will cast a first level detect magic.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if Valmir had the Fanger one was like, yeah, I can just do that for free all the time, forever.
Mm-hmm.
So he will go ahead and he will cast a detect magic and kind of start examining to see if there is the hallow is fading or if it's failed, or maybe there's other magical stuff that is going on here that is up to shenanigans.
It definitely feels like that there was a hallowed spell here that has since failed.
So do we think it's undead here that would have otherwise been resurrected were put here under the hallowed ground so that they wouldn't resurrect, and now that that's failed, they're all coming out?
Typically with situations like this is just a graveyard for people of the faith. This is a proper resting place, so you can be interred with the place of your beliefs, and it offers protection for your body as you move on into the afterlife. I don't think this is a situation where people who would be at risk of being buried as undead were left here. I think it might be more of either when the attack took place, they sent out to destroy as much of the hallow protection as they could, or perhaps just with the utmost suffering in the city and the devastation of the city, those lingering spirits are being left with a desire to rise up themselves. Either way, it's not good news. Restoring a Hallow's... Actually, would Breton have any idea of how to restore a Hallow without just outright casting the Hallow spell? Is that even a thing?
Yes,
Like
there
really
are old, like the Hallow spell is kind of like the easier, like newer method, if that makes sense. But there were ways of hallowing ground long before that magic was like given onto the world.
So like microwaving versus cooking on the stove.
Yeah, it's the difference between, you know, an air fryer and making the fries by hand, you know. So there's definitely ways to hallow ground without a hallow spell.
I guess the big question is, does Breton have knowledge of what that would entail?
Probably a ritual of one or many of the faithful, relics, perhaps anything of divine power, anything that you could use, and then time and effort. There are texts, etc., that you would probably know of in what's it called, in the both the Albanian pantheon and in the Netherthelian pantheon, that would talk about hallowing ground. It comes up a lot in the Netherthelian pantheon about like hallowing battlefields after large conflicts or conflicts with evil, just to protect the dead, kind of thing, as like a last rites kind of scenario.
And that's well said, Valmir. This place needs to be rehallowed. We should keep an eye on it. I don't know how. I'm a little torn here, because on one hand we could just start clearing out the undead, but that means we're basically just going to be destroying the unfortunate souls who are reanimated, and that doesn't feel as kosher to me as just allowing them to properly return to their rest. But I guess it's a matter of how dangerous this gets. If these undead start to animate and attack the people, then that's a much bigger problem than ensuring that the rest is proper.
My question is, what is causing them to reanimate?
That is a good question.
I'm sure,
I'm not picking...
you know, a cathedral falling over, I don't know if that'll do it. The hallowedness of the ground being broken, I don't know, does that feel, especially with them, you know, reanimating, does that feel deliberate to you, or are we looking at something else here?
It's a possibility. I've not, and Midge, you can correct me on this, I'm not picking up any necromancy. I'm not picking up anything that is, any magic that is deliberately trying to reanimate the dead. I don't know. That might be another question for the clerical staff, but unfortunately nobody can seem to get in to have two words with them, so we're sort of hung up on that at the moment. Honestly, this keeps coming up, but I feel like this is a question more for Zedaar.
Yeah, he would know. When I did Divine Smite, it says I can tell the location.
Sense.
Sorry, Divine Sense. Yeah,
We're not smiting them yet.
Yes. I know the location of them within 60 feet of me that is not behind total cover. I would imagine buried underground counts as total cover.
Yes.
Fair. Okay, then.
Actually,
Yes.
Divine Sense actually detects hallow or unhallowed ground. That is one of the things it can do.
Does it? Well, then you detect it as being unhallowed ground.
So I didn't even need to use the detect magic.
You can have that back if it costs you a spell slot.
Has it? Well, it says you can detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated. So has this hallowed ground been? Is it just unhallowed, or has it been specifically desecrated? Because I imagine there's a difference there. But that's pure imagination. I don't know if there's a difference.
Guess it's coming down to grammatical semantics, but I would say it has been desecrated in one way or another.
Desecrated to me feels deliberate.
It might be something where the breaking of the rituals were enough to cause an inverse effect. We should probably search the grounds more thoroughly to see if we can't find something that might have caused that.
Yes, I agree.
We'll do that next.
The individual who is with you, the construction worker, is just like, right, if you go do that, I'm gonna wait here. All this talk of undead is just not what I'm here for.
Keep an eye out and scream if anything starts clawing its way up.
Oh, I'll do that. But
I guess Valmir and Breton are off to search the grounds, find some bad stuff.
Maybe I could get you guys a hot beverage or something.
Sounds delightful.
Okay, because it is, the temperature has certainly dropped as you're heading again towards a night in this city. Freaking chilly.
Breton is extremely comfortable this, considering where he was raised.
Exactly.
But we'll make do.
Not.
Valmir is from the humid underground of a mushroom kingdom, essentially.
And Breton was raised in the high mountains, where this is the temperature it was basically all the time. So.
Okay.
No, get him in a desert when it's warm, and we'll see how he handles that.
I'm good at that. We could do that. I'm good at that.
Next time.
Remove the curse over this over this part of the continent, and you would be in a desert.
I think. Do we know how it was cursed?
Oh yeah, it's an ancient story that's kind of well known because it's such a large landmass. But yes, essentially, the one of the pantheons, the traditional pantheons, gods, betrayed a powerful witch who cursed the land.
Unfortunate.
Happens.
Okay, I guess are we gonna go searching the grounds for weird shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just whatever doesn't seem right, whatever might seems like it's causing it's flipping this hallowing and protection on its head, as it were.
Can I give you advantage? And just to follow your lead seems like a better idea.
Okay. You can certainly give them an advantage as you begin to investigate this.
Well, I can tell you now, I don't think either of us are the keen-eyed investigators that we think that we are. But I will roll investigation if you're trying to help me with it.
Yeah, we don't think we're good is the difference. We're intelligent enough to know we're not intelligent.
I got a 16.
Okay.
We take those.
Listen, we're not dumb, we're just not experts.
The churchyard is far from how it should be. Especially, you look towards the cathedral and there's, shattered windows. The entire doorway that the workman was talking about has been, caved in. But other bits of rubble from the collapse has hit parts of this churchyard. In fact, half the churchyard is currently partially under buildings. But the majority of the area that you're in is clear. A couple of gravestones knocked over kind of thing. But you do... As you look around and you trudge through the weather... There is a clear disturbance in the ground towards a number of crypts or family tombs that align one of the back walls. The snow there has sort of melted towards some of them, and some of them have also cracked and been broken in, or where rubble has fallen. Or they're fully partially damaged in some way. But you also look, and it feels like the mist layer is also emanating from the area.
Looks ominous. gonna find anything dodgy. That looks like a prime location.
Yeah. We should let's take this carefully, just to make sure that we're not getting into our heads. I'm going to hope this is not something that we can handle, but let's try not to bite off more than we can chew. How many of these crypts are there? And does it seem like there's one in the center that's kind of the forefront of this?
So the whole row is probably about 30 crypts, but there's like 3 or 4 in the center where you see this like melting snow, and they're all sort of as equally damaged.
Sitting near the middle ones, if Breton uses one of his divine sense, do any of them give off an immediate sense of like powerful desecration or something to that effect?
Yeah, it definitely feels like that some sort of protective magic on the center too has been lifted, and the area is heavily desecrated in some way.
All right. I guess we'll just start left to right and go through these one by one. Breton is going to step up towards the first one, and as a precaution, because we know we're dealing potentially with desecration and undead, Breton is going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on himself.
Okay.
There in the chat. If you also have that prepared, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
I think that's 5th level.
It's a first level spell.
Oh, is it?
Protection from Evil and Good is a first level paladin spell. I know you wouldn't think that we'd be dealing with undead and stuff today, but Protection from Evil and Good is something Breton just always kind of keeps available because it's kind of his business.
It's wheelhouse to do so. Yeah. Did you prepare it today, Valmir?
I don't have it in my list at all. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. No, I don't. I did not. I did not prepare it.
It's fine. I'll take the lead. You got my back.
Okay, you go up to one of the. Just roll me a d20.
Sure. D20. 7.
Okay. You walk up to the furthest one to the left. And you go towards the door, and as it doesn't have like a standard handle. It's got kind of like a ring, like knocker handle on the center. That would, the ones that you sort of would turn and like it would lift up a bar, like one side. And you grab one of those. But the ring feels like wet and warm. Like that it was covered in ice, but it's since melted.
What could be causing so much heat to emanate from here?
Is it like one of those things where you put your hand to the back of a doorknob to see if there's a fire on the other side of the door? Like how hot is this handle?
It's more like... It's not like you can't touch it, heat metal kind of thing. It's...
just unnatural in the location.
Yeah, it's more like you've put your hand in a room temperature glass of water, but considering what you're surrounded by is -15.
It is odd. It is very odd.
Evening is like, what?
Brighton will just shrug his shoulders and move to open up the door.
Okay. The old wooden door does give way, and the family tomb is like, this one seems to go down. It's like subsurface, and this is just like a stylized entrance to it. So it's quite a big crypt. But ahead of you, you hear a of like water droplets dripping from a ceiling. It's pitch dark in front of you after about 10 steps.
That's not a problem for Valmir, I don't think. But Breton has a hard time seeing in the dark. And he doesn't have anybody to cast light for him, so he is going to pull out his trusty hooded lantern and give that a light.
Okay.
Because he does have a hooded lantern, and he will hook that to his belt.
Okay. So the hooded lantern opens up, and you actually see now ahead. There's like, so it's probably like 10 foot down, so it's probably 6 foot under surface level, kind of. Perhaps. And ahead of you in the room, you kind of the view's obfuscated, obviously, because you're looking down. But ahead, you see sort of like a slow expanding puddle of drippage and water that has just formed.
Can I look at the ceiling? Is it?
You can't see
something?
You are looking down a staircase tunnel into a room. You can't see the ceiling. So like the ceiling, if you were to look up, would be like the top of a staircase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You'd have to go in to see a ceiling.
Does it look like the water on the ground? Like, is it just like a thin layer of like a puddle, or is it like we're going into?
It's like an extremely large puddle.
Okay, so
the beginnings of a leak.
Okay. So I'm not going to drown in it.
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
It would barely cover the top
your
of
fear
it.
of water. We had to get that in for this episode too.
Welcome to Midgeman Plays with Tropes.
All right, I will step into the puddle.
Okay, so you're going to push past Breton and walk down the steps.
Breton will make his way down as well. We'll start venturing forth.
Marching order, who's going in first?
Breton was going first because he had his protection up.
Okay.
As you can stab over the top of his head because he has a glaive.
I've brought out my glaive now.
Okay. As you guys step down, you go into this room, and it feels like, so it's probably 15 foot wide, and then a 30-foot tunnel with different like sarcophagi along the sides. And at the Valmy, actually, all of you both see this clearly because of the hooded lantern and also Valmy. But at the end of the corridor, there is an individual, looking straight at the wall away from you, just kind of slightly in the corner. They look to be in ragged armor, turned away from you, wet-looking hair, water dripping from the corpse that is now standing in front of you, faced away, and you just hear, and it's kind of like zombie moaning through drowned vocal cords. As this sea-soaked corpse stands at the end of this crypt, away from you both.
So just want to point out, obviously, standing next to Breton means that I'm like immune to fear, right?
You would be, yes.
Okay, because otherwise I would be fucking terrified. Because this is
you're probably still terrified. Like, imagine the way this works is like the fear is still in your head, but it doesn't cause you anxiety.
Because this is basically worst nightmare. If this is what happens to you if you drown, you drown for eternity. Fuck that. Out of here. Gone. You have never seen a paler shade of purple.
Since we got a pretty good look at this thing, can we try to identify it?
Sure.
Would that be religion or arcana?
I would say religion at this point.
Good, because I don't have arcana. 21.
Yeah, this looks to be some sort of drowned undead knight. It's you've heard of various stories of sort of unholy individuals or corrupted corpses of individuals of great power, often retaining some element of how they die. And this looks to be just that. This person has been resurrected and has the traumatic visage of one of the ways that they fell, or part of the situation in which they fell. This person seems to be ever producing water, and you actually see it that like their hair is just like from what you can see, it's just like there is a constant flood, but like the puddle around the room doesn't seem to expand when the water hits it. More so, it's like, this is as much as it's made. It's never going to be more than this, because it's probably not totally all there. It's probably not even water. It's just a horrific visage of such.
Yeah. Right, I was just going to look at Valmir and say, so I don't know if this is the big problem, but this is definitely something we need to focus on dealing with. So both blades come out, and Breton is just going to start creeping forward towards it. We'll see very quickly if this is something we should have brought the entire party for.
Okay. As soon as your feet hit the puddle, its head breaks in its spine and turns all the way round to look at you. And you see just this bloated, veiny face through like a half bassinet helmet with just piercing like yellow eyes. And it hasn't fully reacted, but it is just staring at you. It's not like ran to attack or anything, but it is now aware of you.
Sir, it's not time to wake up. You need to go back to sleep now. Very sorry for how you died.
It just opens its mouth and like water pours out. And I need you both to roll initiative.
Yeah. You're getting through to this one, Valmir. I think you get a +4 bonus to your initiative, Valmir.
Oh, fuck me. I like standing next to you.
Loving the body horror, Midge.
Yeah.
It's bringing me back. Yeah.
This is you kind of shit.
Highest initiative I have ever had in my life.
I got a 19.
Okay.
We fucking speeding.
You are both. So Valmir, you get to act first.
I'd be surprised if he didn't.
Yeah. So Valmir's going second. What? Why? How?
Valmir is going to cast an spell. He is going to cast Command, and he's going to say, "Return," as in like return to your crypt or some shit, you know.
Okay. What kind of saving throw is that?
Wisdom DC 17.
Okay. Its neck breaks back, and then it goes back towards an open crypt next to it.
The fucking worked. Guys,
Begins.
that fucking worked.
Well, it begins to. You like its head like breaks towards it. But is that the rest of your turn?
Yes. I'm also maneuver-wise behind Breton, looking around, because I'm not looking over his shoulder. It's too fucking high. I'm looking around him. This thing is actually nightmarish.
All right.
Breton, it's over to you. This thing does look like to have reacted to Valmir's spell.
Breton has his doubts that that's going to be a long-term solution, though, so he's going to make his way forward just a little bit. He's going to keep. He's not so far away. He's going to keep Valmir within 10 feet of him, so he gets the aura still. So they still are sharing their auras, but he's just going to have his weapons out. He's going to hold his action to attack this thing. That if it decides to get up and come after us, But that's we'll see, because we're like 2 turns away from that, so that's just gonna be Breton's turn. He wants to see how this thing actually reacts to being forced to return to its crypt.
Okay. It's this creature goes towards, on its turn, goes towards the crypt, and kind of like it's a sarcophagus that's been, the top of which has been smashed, and it just climbs in, and then it lays down, and then it sits back up and points at another sarcophagus, which begins to open.
Oh, fam.
Okay, that's its turn. Valmir, over to you.
I don't think that's gonna do it. I think we need to do a bit more than that.
Gonna have to get our hands dirty.
Yeah.
This is someone who. This is an individual who fell. This is not just somebody who decided to wake up. We're going to have to deal with it.
Well, in that case, he is going to target himself and also Breton, and he is going to cast Bless. I think the blessing of Bahamut may be helpful in this situation. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to... I don't know. I'm not doing anything for the bonus action. Just kind of holding steady.
Okay. Breton, to you.
Jury's out. We got to kill this thing. Breton is going to move into where the sarcophagus. The thing is inside of the sarcophagus. Is it laying prone in its sarcophagus?
It sat back up and pointed towards another sarcophagus, but it's like you could walk up to it and like kind of go straight for that arm and it'd be right in front of you. Like you could attempt to try and like lop off the arm, or like you could swing to your right and try and hit it sat down. I would say it would be considered prone.
Sure. Breton's just gonna go ahead and give a couple of smacks at this thing.
Yeah, go for it.
We're here to clean things. So these are at advantage because it's prone. First attack is, oh wow, that's not a great roll. That's apparently I'm also targeting myself. I should not be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's an 18 to hit though.
That hits. Roll some damage.
I'm gonna throw a first level divine smite on this just to test the waters. Ha! That is 23. Actually, this is an undead creature, so this should be an additional 28 points of damage.
Yeah, just as a heads up, I think you were targeting yourself.
I'm not targeting anything. I was targeting myself for the attack. I'm targeting myself for the damage.
So that's 27.
28.
28. Yeah, you just take the arm clean off of this creature. It's still up, but it looks severely freaking injured.
Second attack, because we got more than one. That is the second time with advantage I've rolled a natural 1.
Just get him out of the way.
Yeah, no, thanks for the advantage, prone. Second hit is going to be 15 points of damage.
Okay. The creature just crumbles. Like you take his arm off with the first strike. Second attack, you swing out right and just head straight off.
Sure. Okay, Breton still has 1 attack left. He's going to make his way over towards the other sarcophagus that was starting to open, and basically just secure position here. But he's going to let Valmir move to handle this one.
Okay.
I can't imagine like this is just a crypt for purely people who drowned. This isn't the drowned crypt, right? Like there's other types of like ways that you can die to be interred here, right? Clearly. Mm-hmm. So we're not
It's
going
a
to have
family
any
crypt,
trouble.
so
Yeah.
unless they were all on a boat at the same time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's unlikely, right?
Okay, on the creature's turn, in the small gap in the sarcophagus that's been able to be opened right now, you see like a bony arm come out and then like break over its elbow, and it's like upside down trying to grab at like sort of like it goes and goes the wrong way towards trying to grab at Breton. That's its turn.
Valvay's gonna take his glaive in both hands, stick it into the gap, and just start going.
Okay, sure, make an attack. Make an attack. like
he stuck it in, and he's just like mincing it around.
Yeah.
This is the part they don't talk about in the stories. The time two noble paladins cleanse the corruption of a once hallowed graveyard. This is the part they don't talk about.
Yeah.
It was all noble.
Yes, like putting a knife in a ketchup bottle. Let's go.
Love to see it. I haven't added my attack thing, my weapon to my thing, so let me just
roll a d20.
Yeah.
Just roll a d20 and we'll go manual because
12. I should have like a +9 or something.
Yeah, you hit. A 12 hits.
Okay. And then it's a d10 plus 9 or 10 or something.
Okay, if it's let's just say if you roll higher than a 1, it's probably dead.
Yeah, 9 plus
Right.
like 9 or 10 or something.
Yeah, you just like almost like putting a stick across a xylophone. You just hear as you mash around in some like old sort of cloth and bones, and the resistance just instantly goes. The arm that broke itself over to try and grab Breton kind of just crumples into pieces on the stone.
So, question.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I just killed, is it humanoid?
Technically speaking, not anymore. It
Not
was
anymore.
undead.
Yes, I don't think so.
Okay, so undead stuff isn't humanoid. Okay, never mind then.
No, I think it has the moniker undead rather than humanoid.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Does it immediately feel like does the water start to disappear now that the main creature has been killed?
The water now seems to be, if you look at the ground, the water now seems to react more like actual water and has sort of spread out more.
Brent's gonna pat Bellman on the shoulder. Well, good job. That's 1 down. 3 more to go.
Well, it can't be as bad as this one, right?
And Brent's just gonna start making his way up without responding.
Mm-hmm.
If there are any more threats about Mage, obviously we'll go through them. But if there's not, then we'll just we can hand over the rest of this.
Okay. You get the impression that when you head to the second room, something drives you to sort of just, kind of put your ear to the door, and you do hear shuffling down in the crypt.
All of these have been corrupted more heavily. Well, I guess we're into Crypt 2 then.
Okay, we will come back to Crypt 2 in a moment. Let's jump to Team Dragon Investigator. So Darius, Zaraj, Claudia, and James. You are, as a group, looking around the city, trying to ascertain of infiltrators and try to find people, trying to ascertain who in the city that remains might still be infiltrators, or if there's anyone to worry about. Where would you like to start?
Well, we had gotten some information that there were some key members that were infiltrators. What departments or what groups were they involved in? I guess I would try and start with, I guess, a backtrack. Like, if they were an infiltrator, who else were they involved with, kind of thing.
Okay.
Because you did give us a couple names, I just don't remember writing them
down. Sure.
So, like, start with I guess the couple of known infiltrators that we had, and then try and find out who else they were connected with in the city.
Do you remember? Does anyone have the note of which name I gave? From my from my list of infiltrators.
I don't remember that.
Right.
Also, Darius, are you going about it the same way as James? Or are you going, or like, is this group dividing down even further, or are you guys sticking together in your how many directions am I running in, Roach?
I guess I mean I would propose that as a option to the group. I wouldn't just go off doing that on my own.
Okay.
Yeah, Darius is just kind of here to make sure everybody's supervised. So just kind of keeping an eye on them.
So you're here more keeping an eye on Team Chaos than
Yeah.
We're really getting like a parental relationship in different parts of this group of who has the leash on the and who is the individual being dragged around. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have it written down. I forgot to write it down. So I guess I would go back to talking with, because it was Kessie and Sefka that gave us the information. I guess I would go touch base with Sefka first again to try and get some of those names, and then go from there if everybody else is cool with that. That's what the set is. Oh well.
I'm just checking Zep's notes if he has it.
Sorry, I was distracted. What was the question?
Do you remember the infiltrator names that were given to us by Sefka? People who were in the city that had caused a lot of this chaos?
No, I just have infiltrators of knock on to either seal here in the city. I don't think I have the names, though.
Mm.
I don't remember us getting the names at all.
Okay.
No, I
I
didn't.
thought we got
It was
a name.
purely speculative.
So the note I have, went to a temple, Zaraj noticed a flickering flame that was put out. We investigated. Braun realized the statue had a secret door lever. James realized it was the ritual chamber, went down a corpse chute into the burial chamber. Breton had to see invisible and saw there was a person hiding behind one of the bodies. Kessie had a similar tattoo to Sefka, half moon indentation, guarding something sacred. Emissaries of the individual were protecting one of the seals. Patrol the outside chambers. Order of the Stonekeepers. Sefka is the leader of this. Infiltrators have not gotten into the seal here in the city. And then just talking about Brayler Seal.
Okay, so we didn't actually get any names.
Okay. Okay, so
I would go and try and talk with them and see if they did have any names first.
sure. So you want to go back across the rubble to them?
Do we have any way of getting a message to them without that?
In your group, I don't think you do.
Then yes.
Okay.
I would have to make that travel.
Okay. You take to some of the construction scaffold in the area which Zep and Braun and Darius were originally working, to the northern part of the city, and climb the long journey across This is also the first time Claudia is seeing a lot of the larger portion of the city, because she's only just come down, as you requested her, and she, Dara, she looks a little unnerved. She's not hiding it well.
Right. Roach has the ability of helping somebody going through a situation, but whether or not Darius is emotionally equipped to do so is another story. That'd be a no, according to the dice. So just kind of making sure she's not really, she doesn't get any worse, like steering her away from,
Yeah, she's just like, the normal, the kind of the Reynard mask is sort of like
down. Well trained in that. Yeah,
certainly down.
My dear, if you need to keep your eyes on the ground to come to your senses a bit more, we will guide you. It could be tough to see some of these things if you haven't witnessed it before.
Oh, no, it's a lot, but I understand. It's I'll be fine.
That's it. That's the proper Renard response. It's the family motto. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Yes, I guess we all will be fine in time.
But eventually you make it back to the buildings in which you found Sefka originally, like the little houses, like the little complex. You don't find them around. They did say if you needed to get back in contact with them, to leave a message on the wall of the temple, but it's not exactly a fast method of finding them.
Is Kessie still lingering about? I'll kind of just...
Where?
Oh, she was at the temple. Oh, wait. Sefka wasn't at the temple originally, was he?
No. He took you to the temple.
We have to leave the note at the temple for him, right?
That's what they said, yes.
Okay. So then, if we were going to be leaving a note to try and get in touch with him, I would go there, and I would also try and see if Kessie was around too, because she might be able to give us this information as well.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Just James?
All of you can do this. Everyone that's there.
That's 23.
I don't think I need to.
You don't see either Sefka or Kefi, but you do see a relatively similarly dressed individual with a different facial mark leaving the temple as you approach.
Excuse me.
The individual looks at you quizzically.
Do you have a moment of time? You said it's a different mark?
Yes. It looks to be like it's under their eye and it's kind of downwards. It looks like almost like a dawning sun with like five points coming off of it under the eye, but it's it's still that like raised scar like white tattoo.
Do they respond at all? They just look at my way.
They're kind of looking around and they do approach.
Do you mind if I ask you a quick question? A second one, that is.
Yes, be quick about it.
I'm looking for either an individual who goes by Sefka or an individual goes by the name of Kessie. If you know either of them, just point them in my direction or send them over to, and I'll look over to Darius. Where should we send them? Where are we staying?
I think we're just staying on the ship. I don't think we're staying anywhere else.
Really established in headquarters on the ground yet, have we? All right. If they could try and contact us over by our ship, that'd be great.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, how did you roll on the table? That was weird. It rolled on the table and then it jumped into the thing. Okay. So that's a 10.
This is Sure, why not?
Insight.
I'll tell them. Give me an insight check.
Or do I need to?
It's not a low DC. It's not a high DC. This person's not going to do shit.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Do they seem like, I would like to insight them, do they seem like the name sounded when I said Sefka and Kessie? That's a 10 as well.
Hard to tell.
We're not the right group for this.
Rolling, nope, not at all.
The one person who proposed this entire venture
Is not here. Yeah, I was gonna point it out.
Where'd Zedaar go? She just left us.
She's trying to go deep undercover.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. I hope that was quick enough.
Okay. You will have a pleasant day. The individual walks off. You also notice Darius, you definitely picked this up. As they walk away, they seem to like put their arms around their back and put like something back into a concealed scabbard or something behind their back.
Oh. We give off an energy of mugging, I think, coming as a group. I'm starting to think.
So, do you suggest we all disperse even more and go on?
Honestly, I think that'd make it worse for us.
It might, yes. Especially for me, I don't think I'd
Yeah, I'm character
last
seeing those
long if I
bonuses
came
you've
across that
got.
holy order.
Definitely. Why don't me and you team up, and Zedaar and Claudia can go and do their thing, and maybe a self-contained bit of story in a week's time, while we go about it on our own.
Well, I don't think we are the best for infiltrating into a group. I don't
No,
know.
they'll deal with that. We can interview, I think.
Interviewing, yes, that's a better way.
Okay. Where would you like to start your interviews?
God. Ghibli, you screwed us.
Bless her. She's going to come back after being off for a week being ill like, hey guys, how did the investigation go?
It went great.
Yeah, we just got donuts and a coffee, and we just kind of like.
Yeah, we sat on
Okay.
We just kind of walked apart for a while.
We really planned. We got some good planning in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Kind
I
of
learned how
accosted
to
a couple of. Yeah, we accosted a couple of random passersby. I guess they'll go one way, we'll go the opposite way, and we'll meet back up at a preordained time, and we'll just try
Okay.
and find what we're looking for.
I would say let's start perusing through the medical camps of those who got injured and find out who
It's a good plan.
was nearest some of the epicenters
Sure.
where like infiltrators showed up So we can get some descriptions of people from actual, like, first-hand, or bystanders.
Sure.
Witnesses.
Okay. Would you like to hit the main hospital or one of the recovery wards that have been placed outside of the city center?
I'd say one of the further recovery. Where? I guess start with the guards and find out where the main centers of attack were, and then go to the medical camps that are near those areas.
Okay.
So if the main hospital is at the cathedral that was attacked, that might be a good chance. But I think some of the outlying ones might be good as well.
Sure.
What do you think, Darius?
Sounds like a good plan. Sounds like a plan, which is better than what we had 30 seconds ago. So
I mean, yes,
about an hour and a half ago, actually, of transit.
Yep. It's a good thing we're talking now.
Well, what do you think? Do you think we should find some of the outlying hospitals and wards? That'd be a higher chance of finding someone who was directly affected by an infiltrator, or do you think the main hospital will hold higher probabilities?
If we're trying to find information on infiltrators or just find infiltrators, potential infiltrators, then I would expect they'd want to stay away from as many people as possible and go to maybe an outlying one instead of the main one. But then again, overthinking it, they might expect that and then go to the main hallway, but then we get into circular logic. So
yes,
let's go to the let's go to the smaller ones.
I guess because we're already kind of on the outskirts as we're making our way back in.
It does mean we waste less time.
Yes.
Okay.
I do hope the other two get something.
Sure thing.
And don't burn anything down while doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whilst you guys do that, I'm gonna zoom as you begin to transit your way over there and maybe come up with some questions that you want to try and ask people when you find them. We're gonna zoom all of the way out of the Vestilian theocracy and over to the other continent where Ruby or Sol, sorry. Gosh, Rubisol. It sounds like a drug. I'm not gonna say.
Subjects may include Drabon, Nazi, Ingedeck, paper, psychosis, death, and halitosis. Magic is not for everyone. Consult your doctor before use.
Each set sold separately. Batteries not included.
Ask your doctor if Rubicel is good for you.
We left you in the top of one of the Retbury Lighthouse.
The Retbury Lighthouse.
Yes. What would you like to do?
Just forget the Retbury Lighthouse is not the lighthouse in Retbury. To clarify that, yes.
It is. It's in the main harbor, sort of below. Well, it's off like a little. It's on like a little tiny like man-made peninsula off of the island that the mountain Festun is on. The large.
Okay, sorry, different Retbury flashback.
So you can see like all across. So it's kind of like it curves round to the front of the harbor. So like you can see like a lot of the interior of the city. But for you, it's it's still in the city. Like you can exit it and you'd be able to walk along. But you got like a full view.
How bad's the damage look?
It's hard to tell. There's a lot of reconstruction work that's been going on. Like you see these like sky ships that are lifting large stones and large carvings of basalts. Like, you even see people, there's like some that are like putting entire floors of buildings down, like being hovered down by multiple. It looks to be quite substantial, but it's heavily being repaired.
Okay. She's gonna start walking back, or walking into the city proper.
Okay.
Towards the Festoon.
Sure. Sure. You're walking below the main Festoon, and you begin to enter the main harbor district. Before, probably about 20 minutes later, you are at the main bridge that leads back. So you have to kind of leave the Festung Island to go into the town to go to a bridge that like takes you up to where the first bit castle is. Is there anything you'd like to do before you like head in, or
just kind of surveying the damage of the place, seeing how extensive it might have been, getting an idea of how many dragons and how big the attack would have been, and was it successful? Did the dragons get what they were looking for, or?
There's definitely. It seems like as you like begin to slightly climb towards the Festung, because it's got a very commanding position in the city, as it's essentially a central. It's like a singular mountain, to be fair, in this area, so it's like the highest ground of the city. You do see that a lot of the city remains intact. It seems like a lot of the focus of the attack was around the harbor district, and there's a little bit of damage to one of the two skyship towers, as well as damage to the Festung itself, but it looks very limited. That, or it's been repaired very quickly.
Okay.
It looks to be a major attack, probably about the size of the one at Compound. It's just they seem to have dealt with it quicker here.
And they're more organized in their defense. Okay. And it was dragons, nothing else.
You like ask around, and it seems to be an infiltration / dragon event along the lines of what you've seen before, and also with the existing knowledge you guys had from the Iron Duke, because you were on call to him at the time when this occurred.
Yeah. So it's the same strategy they used at Compound, the same strategy they used here, the same strategy they used in the Vestalian Theocracy. A pattern worth repeating, I suppose. She's gonna plug that information in the back of her mind and
okay.
Start making her way towards where the Iron Duke would be.
Okay. You begin to ascend the large bridge, or across the large bridge, towards the main castle, and the main bridge is lined every 30 feet or so, one each side, with you've seen them before, the Royal Guard, the golden armored Warforge.
Soul will show her gem to them.
They as you get towards like the picket right at the end, you show your thing. There you go. Right this way. It is a pleasure to see you again, Lady Sunderstar.
And you as well.
You guys did live here for like 3 months, so it is not unheard of that they don't know who you are. You were led towards the main. You kind of go through a lot of like. You know when you go into like a public building, you're in this is a really fancy foyer, and there's also people like the members of government walking around, because this is also the government building, so there's people like going to chambers and offices and stuff, and eventually you are led through like a number of back rooms. You've gone through the utility department, where it's like this is just a concrete corridor where there's like all you can see is a power box on the wall, that kind of thing. You've gone through there, and now you've gone back through into another very familiar ornate elevator, and you begin to rise through the tower.
Is there elevator music?
There is totally elevator music. It is just it's got a sort of it's not like dun 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 dun, but it's imagine like, because it's all like kind of mechanical. It is like listening to glockenspiel music.
Sure.
As you go, it's kind of got a mix of elevator / ice cream van as you go up. It's got that.
Okay.
And
sure,
it's actually I'm not sure that you know. You might know this from living in the city for a couple of months. It's playing the national anthem of Lake Land as you go up, essentially.
I'm just picturing the Imperial March theme, but as an elevator tune.
Yeah.
Okay. Waiting in the elevator to go up.
Yeah, and eventually, you are outside the large golden doors of a familiar Imperial residence chamber.
Take a slow breath. Here we go.
They Warforged that's with you moves with you to the main door and talks to the and basically says and announces to the guards that are at that door. Lady Anrayne Sunderstar to see the Iron Duke. They kind of nod, and you see one of them, the eyes go like dim, and then light back up again, and then turn their head towards you. The Iron Duke will be right with you. And then you hear like a...
The house is shifting again.
Yeah, from behind the door as the house begins to shift. Yeah, they then open the doors, and it is that same parlor that you saw before. The painting is mysteriously missing, that you also may remember. It's odd. The last time that you were in this chamber was when you first met Gourd, essentially. All those many weeks and weeks ago. Yeah. And you see the Iron Duke taking off his familiar like work lab coat sort of overall that he has, hanging it up, washing his hands in a basin.
Sure.
And he also looks over and is like, I was about to say Ruby, but that would be incorrect of me. Hello, Soul, correct?
Lord Von Brandt?
Please come on in. I was expecting to see all of you next time I saw you, and also I wasn't really expecting most of you. I know we've had our conversations about teleportation circles. I hope you found the circle okay. For all security reasons, I do not keep one inside the Festung itself.
I understand entirely. And quite frankly, I had anticipated being here with all of my compatriots as well, but pressing matters required pressing urgency.
That is both welcome and unwelcome to hear. I am glad that you are finding the need to... what's it called? I'm glad that your investigation is getting somewhere, but I am unfortunate in the fact that you say that it is of pressing urgency.
Yes, well... And she will begin the story of what happened in Atria, to Valmir's father, to traveling to the Vistalian Theocracy in its current state of affairs. And the entire region is entirely disorganized into several different religious archetypes that seem to have no coordination whatsoever.
Yes, this is why when we restructured our government, we tended to keep the faithful as merely one smaller aspect of societal life.
Yes. The ultimate problem, though, Your Lordship, is there are currently 2 seals there, one of Pieces of Brayla's Heart and the Scales of Law, both of which are grossly undefended. And we as adventurers, proficient though we may be, are simply unable to navigate their bureaucracy. They are unwilling, and nor we are willing to go against them to take it from them, so to speak. It was my hope, though I don't know how much you could provide, that we could assemble some sort of pressure to be put upon the remaining religious leaders inside the Vistalian Theocracy to unify them. And perhaps when the next attack will come, and it will come, they will be better able to stand against them. I've also noticed that the attacks that have happened there, here, and in Compound, and I'm certain elsewhere, same pattern. And if there is a pattern, it can be predicted, and if it can be predicted, it can be countered. You are perhaps the smartest man on this side of the continent. If anybody knows a way to predict and counter this problem, it would be you.
It is An interesting thought. I have not thought of putting it to an equation. Yes, I am going to have very little say on shifting religious matters, but I can definitely write to my allies to see what they can come up with. This is yes, it is not. We do not have an order that well, there are some orders are native of Legoland's land, as there can be members of orders from anywhere, but we do not have one that connects to the state. If you're worried about the protection of the seals, and you say there are 2 or 1.3 within the city itself, and then 1 on your ship. If you did you tell them about the one on your ship that you've got?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool. Didn't want to jump to conclusions there. There's one on your ship as well, this could be
high risk area.
It's a very high risk area, and if my allies cannot spare more forces, I could probably try to spare a detachment of troops to be there, but that is essentially all I can do. I can try and facilitate conversation with some of the other leaders.
That I think would work a little bit better. When I was journeying as Ruby, we met the Crown Prince of Rienne. Whose name I actually don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I'll have to look it up in a minute. She will pull up his signet ring, and this, according to him at least, will allow us a lot of unfettered access.
Yeah, his word will go a long way. The Rienne is, dare I say, it's one of the most is the most powerful member of our alliance, and to have the Crown Prince in your back pocket is kind of a. That would go a long way.
And with our connections into Nodthel as well.
Yes.
I was hoping the King of Othray might provide some assistance in that regard. Regardless, I can't get to either of them quickly. I came here because this seemed the best place to acquire more, and embarrassing to say this, way around. I actually came here without the means to get back to the Vestalian Theocracy. The Mage Tower was destroyed.
Yes, I did. I know the coordinates for the one in the cathedral.
Not anymore, you don't.
That would have been awkward had I tried to go there.
Teleportation scroll. I can get to the Skyfire lickety split. I have many connections there.
I will see what I can do. I will talk to my it's a scroll of teleportation. I should be able to provide this.
Okay. That's for long term though. I need that when I need to go back.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime though, I am waiting for Zedaar. He should be hopefully here anytime soon. Additionally, the ability to get to Ate and to Seat.
Ate, I will struggle with in terms of I will have to.
Oh, tea.
I will have. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
I just ran out.
Thank you, Gustav. Get one for the lady. Gustav, could you write to the Minister of Conjuration that I need another teleportation scroll? Thank you. Yes, I do not have we do not have diplomatic, and I do not have enough diplomatic relations to get a circle within Ate. But I could definitely, try to write to a member of governance there. It's but the other continent I do not have good enough ties with. I could get one for the capital, however.
I could get to Gavalou already.
No. The capital of the Rienne, Seat.
Oh, Seat. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. How's Joanna?
Why don't you ask her yourself?
How's Joanna? She will say to the air.
No,
assuming she's being listened to.
You're not being listened to, but he essentially goes over to this interesting looking device. It looks like a box with like a tube on top of it, but the tube is curved. And he presses a button on the side of it and picks it up, and it's like connected by like a string to the box. I'm
writing this down for Zap. Like, he now has telephones.
Essentially. Yes, would you send in my daughter and Master Zedaar? Our friend Saul is here. He puts down the receiver. And with that, doors swing open and Zedaar and Joanna enter.
I think Blake might not be there.
Is Blake not there right now? Damn.
Blake might be. Time is nothing. Timing is everything.
As we do that, I'm gonna zoom back out then and go talk to Zep.
Hello.
Zep, you have begun, maneuvering this, making this tunnel, and you are working tirelessly and furiously. Can you give me another just artifice roll to see how you're getting on?
Yeah, of course. Artifice. That is a natural 1, but still a 14.
Are you going to...
of course I am.
Flash
that is a 19.
Yeah. You've hit a big wall, quite literally, within the building. One of the major, low-bearing walls has kind of really stumped progression because you guys have realized, as you've been, building this tunnel around it and these support structures, that without careful maneuver and destruction of this piece, you could cause a major cave-in. So, it's slightly slower going.
But we must be careful and ensure that safety is maintained.
Mm-hmm.
So being more cautious here makes sense.
Yeah. But you predict that you could actually have a tunnel through this by morning if you keep, just pure going for this. It actually starts to raise the question of planning the... what's going to happen in terms of supply and who's going to be going through supplying once the tunnel is opened. And you begin to pick up on conversations between Gwydwyn, the guard captain, and an individual in... you weren't there for this. But an individual in, a maroon-red... No, sorry, an individual in a grey, weighing frock with a maroon-red goblet and a white flame coming out of it. The individual also has, large plate pauldrons, this tied up grey hair, and, what looks to be, a Prince Zuko-esque burn scar over one of their eyes, but then the eye itself is also completely red. And there seems to be a very heated argument going on.
Am I able to ascertain as to what the argument is about?
Give me a quick perception check. The main details from what you compare is what the first... It seems to be mainly about the first course of action when moving once the tunnel's completed.
13.
Yeah, it seems to be mainly about who's going to what's going to happen first time the tunnel goes in. It's guard captain is we need to be able to get supplies and anyone who is majorly wounded and waiting for evacuation out first. We need to focus on civilian, whereas this individual is talking about we need to set up roadblocks and a perimeter and a direct place to controlled distribution of healing supplies and food, more so than just going in there and seeing and bringing things out. It seems like that they want to help, want to set things up over there so that the flow of traffic is sort of more one way.
So there is something, and part of the reason I was more in favor of a tunnel is because I wanted to be a little bit sneaky. I would like to build, if it is possible, some kind of magical detection device to detect if someone is polymorphed.
Oh.
And basically use this as a natural scanner.
Okay. It's definitely doable. And you recently remember your new companion James recalling that they developed a way that they themselves can do something very similar. So you might want to talk to them. And you know what? This slowdown in the mining is a great time for you to nip off and discuss with them these other means, especially as the others that are keeping an interested eye on the situation seem to be caught up in argument now.
Then I will take this good opportunity to go and find the rest of my companions and see if I can get their input.
Sure. You actually intercept James and Darius as they are making their way outside of the city. You knew the general area in which they went to cross, and you kind of catch them just as they're leaving the main city gates, the ones that you came in from originally.
So who is that at the moment?
It's James, Darius, possibly Zedaar and Claudia, but we haven't established that yet. We will retcon.
Okay.
We will use that 8th level spell to modify memory when it comes to it.
There's those misty forms that you see when you haven't unlocked a character yet.
But
Oh my
these are
god!
the two that I wish to see, James and Darius. I'm glad that I found you. I have a question which I would like your input. The tunnel through to the other quarter of the city will be complete sometime tomorrow morning. But I am thinking that this might be an opportunity for us to set up some kind of device that would detect if someone was polymorphed as they pass through it. Would you have any ideas on how we can achieve this?
You're asking us?
I'm asking James, I'm asking you a separate question which we'll come to in a moment.
Okay.
I have a bit of a barbaric sort of method that allows me to check if something is in its true form or not. But it requires me to strike them, wound them, thus branding them. I don't know if you might be able to gain some knowledge out of the action of me performing it if you watch me perform it on something.
It would depend what the mark is, I guess, the brand.
How would I explain? Let me read the ability real quick just to... So essentially, you know how you've seen me add certain elemental damages to my weaponry through the use of my own blood? Well, that blood sort of remains magical, I guess, in a sense, coating the weapon. And then when I strike with that same essence onto a creature, it sort of leaves a lingering brand of my blood's magic on them, allowing me the ability to see through any of their illusory effects and sort of force them back into a true form.
Yeah, I'm not so much interested in forcing them into a true form. A large dragon suddenly appearing in the center of a tunnel would not be good for anybody. But being able to ascertain what their true form is would be useful, because then we can watch them.
Well, if you'd like to go into a lab and dig at this, we could try to come up with something.
I think that would be good, yeah. The other question I had for you, Darius, is we will soon need to make some kind of decision as to who should be coming through the tunnel and what the priorities should be. Do you have any thoughts on this? And also, we are planning to send supplies to the other side. Who should be leading the supply convoys and what should be included?
I don't know if I give this off, but I'm not very good at disaster management and relief. I don't have a lot of experience in that.
No, but you are from an organized military background, and you have skills with logistics.
War camp management, I'm sure you're aware of it. I mean, it involves similar things, making sure that you're, efficiently moving your people and supplies around a small area.
I could give it a look over. Need people we can trust. Need to organize lists of necessary goods. When it comes to who should be let in, I'm not. Well, there is no.
Well, once we have this scanner set up, I am a little bit less concerned about who we let in. It is more a priority of what we send out.
Yes, then food, water, the various necessities, and then we figure out what they need after that.
And how to acquire it.
Exactly.
I think I just had a flash of genius. I think I know who we could start this scanner.
Do I need to tick off one of my uses?
I don't believe so. Sorry for interrupting. No, those lenses we had. Can we get a divination lens? And probably I could possibly brand that lens, and it acts as a focal point for continued uses. And therefore, I don't have to damage the individual. We could just beam a light of divination through that lens.
I like this idea. I will need to refer to my notes as to what materials I have, because the main one was evocation. But it is possible. Let me go and look this up.
I mean, we do have an understanding of how the lenses were made, so we would just need to gain even the base materials and put that into production.
I agree.
I apologize for interrupting, but you can go back to your logistical...
Just as a reminder, the main component of the lenses was flail snail glass.
Yeah.
So you'd have to try and find that, but yeah.
Depending on which ones we still have, because I didn't actually use any of the lenses in the end. I was going to make something, but never did.
Too many projects. Too many projects.
Yeah, you started making a little spell cannon, I thought.
Yeah, like the case, like the basically the gun part is sort of working. Just the mechanics of the actual barrel aren't done yet, if I remember correctly, with the spell cannon.
Correct. I know. Actually, no. Evocation was the second biggest. Give me a minute to look through my notes, and we can continue this.
It kind of just clicked into my head. Like, hey,
it's a very good idea, and I fully approve of it.
Okay. We will then, with that, jump back out to...
Oh, I found it. Divination is the third biggest. Transmutation, conjuration, divination.
And do you have that one?
Yes.
Then yes. Could happen.
Okay. Sorry. Carry on.
Well, I was just gonna see how much time you needed, but okay. I know. I will scope back, and we will quickly scope back to. Let's go back to Lagerung's land as Zedaar and Joanna enter the Iron Duke's chamber.
Joanna, Zedaar.
So. The Joanna looks like taller and older than the last time you saw her. Like
Technically, Soul's never seen her.
True, but she shares some memories of her.
Sure, yeah,
I have no memory of this place. Sorry, she does. Yeah, technically, Soul hasn't even been in this room either. But yeah, she's got reference. Otherwise, this would be very complicated to do. But
1 second, BRB getting Ruby.
just,
She doesn't know.
just
You get the Hulk moment where she doesn't want to come out.
okay. But Joanne looks slightly taller and older, which is slightly confusing as it's only been a number of months, and this growth spurt and etc. is more so than that, but perhaps new body.
Who does? It's good to see you two again.
It is surprising to see you. Especially since you are here by yourself.
Well, as I was telling the Iron Duke, that pressing times call for pressing urgency. And to spare the entire story again, you get the story of basically Atria. Yes, we were in Atria. To the Wystongjir theocracy of what's been going on. And to make an incredibly long story short, I was not comfortable traveling to these places I have not been without at least somebody who I could rely upon. Also, because I can't actually get there right this second, but I'm working on that.
It has been a while since I have seen you, Ruby.
She's here.
I know.
Yes, this is all very bizarre. It's like I know you, but I also don't. I like your hair. This is...
Of all the things in her journals, Joanna, yours are the fondest of memories.
So, you feel an aura wash over you. There is something about this girl that emanates both a familiarity and an empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
The force of will that she emanates makes you feel, or makes it feel like that should it be necessarily, while in her presence, you could bridge the gaps between your many selves far easier. Similar to like that hand holding that Aureus's power gave. You get a very similar feeling with Joanna around.
Sure. So noted. Ruby's still not coming out.
No, I'm just letting you know.
Sure. Hello. Lord Von Brandt, you actually might have some insight. I don't know how much, but I would have a question for you.
Yeah, what is the question?
You have a unique insight into souls.
Somewhat, yeah.
I am a spirit crafted by Brayla to help heal Ruby. I'm part of her, but I am not her. The healing is because whatever ritual is empowered upon Ruby from her father, there is a darkness inside of her, something dangerous and explosive. And should it ever get out, the consequences would be unfortunate for many people. Which is why she won't come out. She is afraid. There is no solution that we have been able to come upon that makes any sort of sense other than it is slowly being healed, but that is, well, not exactly an answer.
Well, the body is a conduit. In all senses. It's a conduit of life. It can be a conduit of great power, magic. It is an allowing factor. But the soul itself is the battery. It is the thing that drives the conduit. And souls are
in some ways beyond comprehension, even mine. I have divulged to you both the secrets of how my crystal steel are produced. They are all souls facilitated in gems, sparked by the power which my daughter holds. It sounds a lot like that Brala has sparked part of your soul to reignite it, allow it to heal it. The body itself is one of the greatest healers. With magic, such as words of healing or curative magics, we are not... It is not the magic that is truly doing the healing. It is the magic guiding the body to heal itself. In the same way that in the more mundane terms, if you were fallen out of a tree as a child and you broke your leg, and the physician reset the bone, set the break, it's not the physician that heals. It's the physician that guides. It is the body that heals. Now, there are ways to speed up that healing. There are ways to affect the healing negatively. Infections are part of a problem, and it does sound likely that, well, if one good deity could interfere for the good, there's definitely merit that a deity could implant for the bad. Sometimes the fever must be... Sometimes the infection is just a fever you need to sweat out. But it's not ever that simple.
No.
I could take a look, but if this is the case in which a god has been involved, I am less inclined. I do not want to lose another arm.
Nor do I want to have you interfere in that matter.
Very well.
If Brayla is set that it would work, then I shall trust in her word. Zedaar will be pleased to know that everybody except Darius on the ship is converting to Bahamut.
Everyone?
Just about. Like, even Siraj, which is a little weird.
This is a surprise, but not an unpleasant one.
And of course, Ruby still remains obstinate as ever when it comes to gods.
It is interesting that you still speak of her as if she is a different person.
She is, sort of.
Not as I see it. In the time here, I have been spending a lot of my time teaching and researching and reading. And out of curiosity, one thing I did delve into is psychoses. And while I am not insinuating that you are crazy in any way, but the situation you have with Ruby is more like multiple personality than it is two beings in the same body. It all derives from the same mind.
Sure, if you want to see it that way.
I just think that you and Ruby have far more in common than you give credit for.
In some ways. I'm more big picture, logic focused. I used math, sort of. Iron Duke will point out.
I can attest. You actually see that he's just like, he's got like this big, like sort of arcane pen, and he's now just like etching into a glass coffee table this massive equation.
See, but
he's kind of like multitasking your conversation and the idea that maybe we could plan where these attacks are coming from.
The bug has been planted. I am the idea gal, just as I told Zep. Regardless, Zedaar, you don't have to come with me if you don't want. I would deeply appreciate your assistance, though.
Where?
Well, probably seat first.
Zedaar kind of looks over at Joanna.
It has been a long time since I felt that there is good that I could be doing. And I do appreciate everything that I've been doing here, but this is suffering that is on a scale that is far beyond what Legrand's Land is dealing with now.
It is effective to say that the Vestalian theocracy is on its last legs. And that should it fall 2 seals, or at least 1 1/3, will fall into the hands of this dragon cult.
She's kind of looking and she's like, there's an understanding there, and there is an urge within her to ask a follow-up question. But then she kind of shakes the notion off.
Something on your mind, Joanna?
I live in a constant feeling that I could be doing more. There's so much going on, but as Zedaar and my father have said, it is not safe nor the right time for me to be out there yet.
It's still a very dangerous place, especially for little girls.
Yes, I know. I will keep to trying to get a hold of my powers before anything.
DM, just to make sure I'm correct, it's broken seals bad, fixed seals good, or other way around?
Flipped it. You flipped it again.
Flipped it. So, and Joanna is fixed.
So
Yes.
she doesn't work as a seal anymore. She is just an extremely powerful living entity.
Got it.
She's not a seal. She was a seal kind of thing. Or at least as far as you're aware that she was fixed.
Okay. Okay. So I'd hate to have to fight her.
So technically, not a seal, was a seal.
Where's the seal that she represented now?
It's within her. She
It
remember,
is the life stone that lets her think.
She
Yeah.
it's the big stone in her heart, chest, back.
Yeah, just break her heart. That's all you gotta do.
Gotta get her a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Or girlfriend, I don't judge. Anyway. So you'll come with me?
We can very well stay away.
I mean, you can. I had to come here first regardless.
Legrand's Land does not need me. Not like this.
Okay.
I can do good here, but I can do much more elsewhere. I have done what I can here. I have protected what I can, and I have helped Joanna learn a few things here and there, but Legrand's Land can handle itself.
Does this mean you'll be rejoining the Skyfires?
I think that I should focus on helping people. I don't think traveling around is going to be doing that. Not in the long term.
Well, we definitely could have used you when we were in Atria. Did you know we met one of Bahamut's Golden Seven?
No? What?
Yeah. He guards their seal. I think it's safe.
It is fine. I made my decision.
I do not regret it. And he will like reach over. It's like you put John a hugger on the shoulder.
Hey, well, you know what this means, Zedaar? It means that if one of Bahamut's Golden Seven is protecting one seal and you're protecting me, you're as monumental as one of the Golden Seven.
Yeah, give a factor of 10 in size or not, but sure. And Soul actually,
that sentiment, Zedaar wells up just a little bit. He's not much for schmoozing, but that one gets to us. That one pulls on his heartstring just a little bit.
That was either
Soul
going to
actually
go really well or blasphemy.
Soul will actually pull out her journal and hand it to him and show the picture she drew of I am so bad with names.
Aureus.
Aureus. I said Hilarious. No, it's Aureus. And show it to him.
I will not say that it's a shame that I have missed it. It feels like it might be one, but I am not going to demean the time that I've spent doing good here. It would have been a selfish desire.
I understand. But you were more present with the Crown Prince than I was. I could definitely use your help convincing him to bring some order to the Vestalian theocracy.
Zedaar will look at the Iron Duke and just say,
if I travel between the three kingdoms, that will definitely come off as a ambassador of you. And I do not feel comfortable doing that unless you give your permission.
It is not.
Well, I imagine at this point, Zedaar would probably be
yeah, it's probably
more.
More
would probably develop into that. Yeah.
More situation than all of you, but all of you already have you are marked by this government as government officials, but we've purposely not sent you into the main war effort. So talking about going between allies and talking about the Vestalian theocracy, he's like, it should be fine. Try not. As long as you do not do too much to connect you. Well, I initially said not to do much to connect yourself to the war effort in order to help maybe sway some terms in terms of the Eladrin. I feel like you have less of an ability to do that anyway now, considering the shithousery that went on with you stealing a giant cannon. But I think it would be fine, Zedaar. Just if there's anything you feel confused or unsure of, you know how to contact me.
Yes. I will keep you updated of all affairs.
He hands out a piece of parchment to you. So this is for the embassy of Legrang's land in Rechin. In Seat. This is the coordinates for that. And you said you are okay with Gervalu.
Yes, I have the teleportation sequence to there. Although I have to go to the market to buy some more chalk.
I wasn't sure which ones I get. Oh, you need chalk.
So you have the world supply in here.
Wait, he just pulls out as a little sort of leather bound. Have you seen a pen case? Like a scroll pen case. It's like one of that. It's got 6 sticks in it.
Oh,
it's just chalk that's been infused with unguents. It's got arcane writing on it. It is your one-stop source to magical writing.
I would mention at this point he's got a pen that is just permanent, forever chalk.
Yeah, that's his backup supply.
She just looks at it and goes, "I need to get one of those."
You can't have it. I made it.
Can I get that one?
It costs a lot of money.
I would assume if you just ask Zep, he could whip one up before too long.
He has 30 projects on his plate right now. He's busy.
So what else is no?
Bad point. Well, we have a giant glass cannon that can help empower magic guns. Magic spells, magic power. Ruby has some fascinating ideas about that one, by the way.
Speaking of cannons, I am very glad that you are using this method and you're not just going to launch us via your cannon, Your Majesty.
We haven't completed the human testing yet, remember?
I remember.
Oh.
Silence in the room for a second.
He's giving me 6.
Yes. Teleportation chalk. Yeah, 6 teleportation chalk.
Okay, cool. 120 gold's worth. Cool.
Yep. And with that, we're actually going to hit our midpoint break here. Slightly later than the normal time, but we'll be back in 10 minutes' time for the rest of this broadcast.
Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dre Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's wrestled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can beautifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click. An emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast.
Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
If we take this job, someone is going to get hurt. Not me, of course. I'm an effing delight. You do what you do, I'll do what I do. I'll keep the red stuff inside of you.
Buddy, we live in Night City. Just breathing can get you killed.
This sort of job? Bullets flying, people dying, gangers riding, corpos trying to take what they don't already own. Doesn't matter. For us, just another day at the office.
When the world seems bleak, you follow your heart. Take that stage without hesitation and give it everything you've got.
There's a lot more to this city than you'd think. You just gotta dive beneath the surface. People like me, we dive into the depths.
And we're back. Welcome back to the second half of this broadcast tonight. We left off in Legerung's land with Zedaar and Ruby. Just before we probably zoom out again, which location are you guys heading to first?
You're asking where we had tend to go first? I don't
Yes.
have the. I need the sequence for seat first.
You got handed it.
Oh, also the teleportation scrolls.
And one scroll of teleportation. Yes.
Cool. Excellent. All right. Zedaar, you ready?
I am ready as I'm going to be, yes.
Okay. Then while Lambert opens up a bag of crisps, I am going to start cracking.
That was just the spell
I
cast.
thought I was on mute.
That's actually how my spells work. Is I just open up a bag of chips and start crinkling them.
Yeah, yes. What was it? Color. What was the colormancer? We were talking about a culinary mage at the end of last session. Oh yes, it's just
Actually, a cookie.
Bag of cookies. All right. And she will cast the sequence for seat.
Okay, you're going
Right,
to
Zedaar,
see.
Go. Joanna, you look great. See you soon.
Bye.
I'll try not to be gone too long.
Good luck.
Also, because I'm leaving, that does not mean you can excuse your studies.
Grab his hand, comes out of the portal.
Just like his voice crackles as the spell overtakes and takes on. In fact, we are gonna, as you step through the teleportation circle, we're gonna back to the Vestilian theocracy, to the buddy cop movie that was unfolding in the graveyard. Because boy oh boy, you guys have split the party intercontinentally right now.
Yeah, isn't the thing? Don't split the party. Isn't that a thing that
Yeah, that went out the proverbial window in session 1 of this campaign. So I've just come to expect this. However, I think this is the biggest distance you've put between each other.
Yeah, separate continents.
This is why you don't ever get high-level games in D&D. This exact reason is why you never get beyond like 11th or 12th level.
Yeah, it's because most DMs have an aneurysm at 14th. But yes, so Valmir and Breton, you are stood outside the door of another crypt which sounds like it has shuffling beneath it. And so at this moment, Breton, you go and check all of the doors, and it does seem like that they're all unhallowed.
There must be something between these that is causing this in this region. I don't know if it's what's inside these specifically, or if there's something just in the area. We might have to search a little harder for that.
Oh, I think what we need to do is obviously put these people back to rest. I mean, I'd like to be able to do it without killing them again, but I don't know how. So let's go fuck up some corpses.
Door number 2.
Okay. When you progress into this, it's not very high level undead in here. Basically you do one by one clear these rooms. It seems like the biggest threat was the drowned one.
Guy.
Yeah.
There's going to be... So Breton's going to try something a little weird here. He is going to try something that Zep would probably come up with, and he's going to try and triangulate. Basically, by using the greatest condensed of where the undead seem to rise from, can he get an idea of where the greatest influence of these revival energies was coming from?
Make an investigation or arcana check.
I'm bad at both of those, so okay. Assuming my boy Valmir is gonna help me.
Yeah, I will. That's a great idea, Breton. Zep would be proud. How about you try?
Speaking of the people doing something that they really don't have any training in, we'll try Arcana, because why the hell not? 17.
Okay. You're on the surface, and you follow the sort of melted snow a little bit. You because you saw that like the layer of fog was sort of emanating from this area, and you look around a bit more, and you go sort of behind the what they call the crypts. The crypt entrances. My brain just kind of to what is because these
above ground.
So the
Wouldn't
entrance
they originally be mausoleums?
Yes, but the thing below is crypt, and I don't know what. It depends where the body is, I think. So the terminology
Sure,
is.
I think you're right on that. I think it depends on where the body's interred. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Either way, you got these little things. Because they were all along the outside wall, and you go over behind them and look behind, and you find a large chunk of what looks to be blackened rock that has penetrated and broken through the cathedral, the kirkyard wall.
Mm.
And it seems that a lot of the melting has... It kind of like comes from it.
We're probably just gonna stare at it. Well, shit. We could have saved ourselves a lot of grief if we just found this first.
What, it's just a black rock. I don't understand. What is this?
I'm not 100% sure. I feel like this one, rather than try and mess with this ourselves, let's keep an eye on it. Do you want to go and grab Zep, see if you can spare a few minutes to just take a look at this?
Sure. I will run back to where I think Zep was probably.
Zep's not there, but Braun is.
Braun, any idea where Zep is?
Yeah, he went to go find Darius, James, and Zarash and Claudia.
Do you know where that is?
I believe they went to the other side of the tower brick.
Do you want to come with me?
He looks around at all the construction work. Where are we going?
There's a black rock thing that keeps raising the dead, and I needed to find Zep, but you'll do, I think, maybe.
Okay. He gets off of the bulldozer, picks up his shield and his spear, and says, "Let us go."
This is definitely what we were looking for, yes. Now, granted, Braun is very intelligent, so he would know better perhaps than we would, but...
I'm just thinking, like, if it's like some kind of necromancy thing, like, me and you, Breton, we're made of skin and meat and shit. Braun's made of metal and wood and mechanical...
I still have a soul, you know.
Yeah. But I don't... Batteries, sure.
Yeah, necrotic doesn't care, and like necrotic wears down all things, my man. It is literally like entropy given form.
Thought it was some kind of skin disease.
It might be how it looks to you, but for me, it would make me boil from the inside and slowly corrupt and shatter. But I like your thinking. I will come and look with you.
How big is this ugly rock thing?
Probably the size of an anvil.
It's roughly how heavy?
You didn't try picking it up.
I didn't, but I'll try Mage Hand to see if it's less than 10 pounds.
The Mage Hand evaporates under the weight.
How close are we to the section of city that was underneath the fallen wall?
So you're like compass point the other side to like the big bit that Zep is mining through, and kind of a bit more than 90 degrees, like 110 degrees from the other V angle of it. So,
I mean, like actual distance.
oh,
Like if Breton were to pick up a rock and throw it as hard as he could he get within stone's throw of the wall itself? Basically,
No.
Breton's trying to turn to like, does it seem like this thing may have fallen out of the tower itself?
Yes, but kind of like the back side of the fall rather than the front side of the fall.
Sure, that's just what he was trying to get his idea. Like, did it come from the tower? Can we at least narrow down potential origins?
I think you could perceive enough that you'd say yes. This is either something that fell out of a room up there or part of the wall up there.
Sure. Okay.
Valmy returns with Braun.
He returns with Braun. So he'll just look over and see that Braun has returned instead of Zep. Well, that's not who I was expecting, but Braun, welcome. This little thing here is responsible for this entire graveyard being corrupted and undead starting to rise, so we desperately need to get it somewhere safe.
He looks at it and it's just like,
could you flip it? Like you never need to touch it, but like, what about like scooping it onto the shield?
I'm more concerned that wherever we move this, it's just going to cause problems somewhere else.
we have a bulldozer.
Slow turn towards Braun. You have a what?
Zip made a machine that picks up rocks.
I don't know bulls would be around these parts.
Zep made a machine that picks up rocks out of a cart. We are using it in the tunnel development. We could use that to lift this maybe somewhere out of the city. But then again, we do not know the issues surrounding the rock itself. If it is the rock, could it also be the fact that... Just gonna roll.
It's the reason we wanted Zep for this.
Some kind of like dispelling magic.
Yeah,
might be good for this.
We might need to dispel it in some way.
I don't have dispel magic.
Do we know if the rock itself is what caused it, or something that happened to the rock is now making it do this? Like, should we perhaps ask someone if this is some ancient death artifact before we touch it that's gone missing in the explosions of the city? Or is this just a rock that's been empowered?
I'll have Breton use another divine sense to see if he can't determine if this is like it in and of itself fully responsible for desecration, or if this is just a greater instance of this effect. It seems to be spreading over the graveyard.
It seems like this is a greater aspect of the effect. Like, something that happened to this caused the desecration, but it's not itself... It's not like it's carved in, like, with runic symbols, and there isn't, like, emanating death from it. It's kind of a thing of, like, oh, this has also been heavily corrupted kind of thing.
Yes. I'm glad that Braun can provide the insight, because I would have thought the same thing, but I wanted somebody to think for certain. Breton will say, actually, I can't do it today because I didn't prepare it today. No.
On this rock, does it look like it was a piece of a larger thing? Like, does it look like a shattered piece of statue, maybe, or does it look like it was molded into the shape that it currently is intentionally?
Give me a perception check.
17.
It looks to be part of like one side of it looks to be like outer wall, and then one half of it looks to be like part of like a baptismal font or something, or some sort of bowl-like shape, or it's got like a religious carving, like half. Like you see like the outline of a robed figure and then like a bowl on one side of it, and then it's all just like blackened and burnt, and like there's like, it seems like there's the breakage, and then it's weird, there's like a burning on one side of the object on like the bowl like carving side, and then like a melting of the stone on the other.
I think maybe this
whatever knocked the tower over.
This dragon attack, I mean, we know that they don't just attack in dragon form, they attack as humans or humanoids or whatever. But it seems to me like this attack maybe have started in the central tower and...
Just to confirm, you already know that that's the case.
Yeah, but I'm elaborating.
Okay, cool.
With like some kind of like death magic explosion that caused this, so maybe there might be more pieces of this necrotic debris elsewhere.
Yeah, that was a consideration. It seems likely.
Could I... Hang on, let me just check the wording on an spell.
Shall I go and get the bulldozer?
I think getting it out of the graveyard for now is still a good idea. We just need to find a place where it's not surrounded by people and we can coordinate it off so it's not going to cause any further problems. And at least until we can find a better way to deal with it.
Can I use locate object spell to search for other pieces of this font, this other pieces, basically like the shit that's on the ground, but like other pieces of it?
Sorry, say that again?
Can I use locate object to find other pieces of this
Probably.
well thing? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna cast locate object.
Okay. So you're like trying to go for like the carving, the font side of thing. You're trying to see.
Yeah.
What's the distance on locate object? Like how?
1,000 feet.
There's definitely more pieces within 1,000 feet. You're getting pings of like chunks around. You're also getting a ping of it up the cathedral.
Up the cathedral, like on the roof, or
towards the broken tower.
I think we should go and have a look. Like, I explain what I've just done. There's a piece of it on the broken tower. We should go and check that out.
All right.
I take Breton's hand and we skip merrily along our way over there.
Okay. How are you trying to get up the tower?
Skipping merrily. Is how... Good question.
Is the interior section have the stairs that lead up to it not there?
Well, it's the cathedral tower.
Oh, we're not allowed in the cathedral.
Well, you were allowed in parts of the cathedral, but you don't necessarily know where the entrance to the tower is.
Is Braun still with us?
Yeah.
Could you spider climb me up there?
He does have those boots.
Probably. But
That's that is we'll shelve that, but that's like if we can't find another way in, then that's something we can think of.
Do you not fly anymore, Valmir?
That only came with the glove. It was just a fly spell that Ruby put in there.
I see. I forgot you cheated.
Yeah, I
Who's
mean...
the Warforged wearing boots?
Yeah. How far up the tower, roughly, was the piece that I felt?
It was like right on the end of your ping.
So it's 1,000 feet away from me?
Yeah. Towards.
Okay. But if there's a piece of this necrotic stone on a cathedral tower, I feel like that's kind of incredibly desecrated.
We should strive to find all of it. We could put in words with the knights and just speak with them. We're not trying to get into a secure section of the church. Just let them know what's going on. They might be able to arrange us just being able to at least explore the top portion of the tower. That might be one of the sections that they've got cordoned off because no one's supposed to be seeing it, though. In which case, it's going to be a problem getting in.
Yeah.
But that could be our next stop. The worst they tell us is no, and we have to find another way.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, maybe they can do it themselves.
Okay. So you head into the cathedral.
Yeah.
Okay. From this end of the cathedral, you can enter into kind of the far side of. You have to go out and around again. Probably the first door you come to is the hospital. And yeah, like you enter the chapel of Palor that has been turned into said hospital. It is probably like 1,000 beds of various individuals, like just lined around. There are some like private privacy screens. Others, people were just like lined up on bedrolls. There's a lot of like clerics, etc. Temple workers walking around treating the wounded. Some of them wounded themselves. If you recall, a lot of the worst afflicted are in this location. Are you looking for someone to contact, or are you going to try and like...
Yeah, Sol and Breton tried to come through here before, and they spoke with the knights that were responsible for keeping security. So Breton presumed that if there was anybody to speak to about where we can and can't go, this would be the place to start.
Okay,
or
so
they would be the place to start.
You cut through the hospital, and you come to the rota of guards that are blocking the very open main passage through to the center of the cathedral.
Mm-hmm. Hello again.
One of them, as you begin to talk to them, none of them look familiar, but from behind them, an individual rubbing, or like washing, like almost like they've just finished washing their hands, walks out of a door and looks to your left, and he goes, alright, can we help you?
So, I'm going to presume the situation hasn't changed with the religious leaders.
No, they're still involved. This individual looks to be a little bit more important than the those that are in front of you. Like it's like you're talking through the bodied armors of these guards who don't, like essentially not reacting. But this individual is like similar armor, but like a half sash around them, like over the top of like the tabard and golden armor and stuff, and they've got like a war pick at their hip, and then they've got like their face is kind of like heavily it's like the skin on one side of their face is really pulled really taut to like the skull, like almost like a graft, like fully like stretched back, and then they've got what looks to be like an eye patch over one side, and like they don't have like, they've got very little like lip on that side of their face as well. And they turn to you as like,
Harvey Dent.
Yeah, kind of Harvey Dent looking. No, they're still deciding that. Can I help you, knights?
Well, there's a little bit of an emergency right now. You see, we've just been to the the graveyard, the church grounds, and there is a piece of necrotic stone that has desecrated the land and brought the dead to life. Now, I've done a locate object spell upon this stone and have come to the realization that there is another piece of this necrosis upon the cathedral itself. Now, if you don't let us pass so that we can deal with this calamitous issue, then you will have very many problems on your hand. This is a matter of great urgency, and you must let us deal with it.
Give me a persuasion check. At advantage.
Yeah!
Solid argument.
Yeah, I'll straight up take a 28 on that.
Yeah, alright. Keep your on. Let them through. The guards part, allowing you to come through. Which part of the tower is it on? It's been a bit rough. Follow me.
Somewhere Sol is just, I sense a disturbance. This is bullshit.
Almost like having a reason.
She didn't get a persuasion check.
It's also a road to see who turned up, and
I think Midge likes fucking with the fact that I hate bureaucracy and like deliberately puts that in front of me just to challenge me. Because he knows I'll roll well eventually, but bureaucracy will always piss me off.
Look, I've got.
You just get angry at bureaucracy, so you have to do intimidation instead.
Yeah, it's why I keep putting water in front of Valmir. It's like,
who'd have fucking thunk it? I'll explain where best I can the location. Because I'm not exactly going to be able to. Oh, it's 17th floor, East Wing, blah 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 blah.
Well, follow me. Don't know if you. Who are you two, by the way? As he says, as you're walking.
3 of us.
Oh shit, Braun's here. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you sent him to go get the bulldozer or not.
Breton would have wanted him to do that, but he wasn't going to, he was going to tell Bart what he had to do. He would have just suggested that was the good idea. It's up to Breton to make that decision. Or not Breton, Braun to make that decision.
I would say Braun went and got the bulldozer and started.
Okay, so it is 2 of us.
Yeah.
So Breton Montelier.
What? Can you remind me a second? What was the title of Aureus to Bahamut? Like the Sacred Son, or was it the Silver Son, or what was it? Beth had said it earlier when talking to Zedaar.
It's one of the 7. What's it? The seven gold dragons.
Great worms?
Yeah, 7 great worms.
Of Bahamut, right? Or 7 gold dragons?
7 great worms, I think. It was 7 gold worms. There's a lot of titles. He did call himself.
Why not both? It's one of the 7 golden worms.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the sexiest name for it.
I gave you what he called himself.
Yeah.
Which was.
Yeah, but you gave it to him before he started dedicating himself to it. So that was ambiguous memory time.
I think he titled himself Aureus the Laurel Crown.
Aureus the Laurel Crown.
I think so, if I'm going back to my notes.
Could always just rewatch it.
So Valmai's going to say, Valmai Kensek, Paladin of Aureus the Laurel Crown, Great Worm of Bahamut the Great.
Fancy. Right, okay.
Over the table, they're called the Septet of Aurum Sentinels is what I think they're called in
I'm so stealing that. That's
D&D cosmology.
Septum. Isn't that
Septet of Aurum Sentinels is what they're actually called.
All right then.
Well,
I'm gonna use it. Damn it.
I'm Master Sergeant Ian here. Sadly, I don't have a knighthood like you do, fancy fox. But welcome.
My knighthood is nothing special to speak about. Don't feel bad.
I was never knighted.
I mean, it's hilarious. It doesn't really matter sometimes either. It's like
Wait, so do we just all three admit that we're three sirs that don't have knighthoods? Technically
I never
speaking.
called myself a sir.
you had a fancy fucking title. That's all I care.
Is Breton not knighted?
Breton.
He is not a part. He's knighted. He's not a part of an official order. His order is his own order. He is a single knight of a single order that he originated. Because he was ostracized from his previous order because of all the shenanigans that happened with Ruby. And the fact that, he killed his own master.
Do that.
That'll do it. That will do it.
That'll do it. But, funny thing is, half of those people there are knighted, and, just because I, get to decide their food ration, they have to listen. Anyway, come on.
Breton just nods like, yep, he understands that. That's don't fuck with where your food comes from.
Right. So a lot of this. So if we're looking to get up the tower, we have to go through this section here and up. It's one of the only staircases that is relatively intact. I would request that you stick quite close to me as we move through, as there's a few of these chambers are being kept to very private matters, but I'm sure if anyone stopped us, they'll understand what the deal is here. And with that, actually, both of you make perception checks as you maneuver through. See if you pick up
totally.
on
We'll respect that, and then we see listen at every single door.
Oh yeah.
21.
9. Damn.
21. You get to the staircase and you look slightly Valmir. It's helped by your dark vision, because of the very, very dim light of the late evening, early night that you're at now, and you see down the corridor like another group of the gold-plated guards outside of a door, further down, and you hear like the subtle, heavy breath of a large creature down there as well.
Do I know what kind of creature this is? Does it ring any bells?
Only that you know that certain creatures are being kept here.
So I'm thinking that's where the dragons are, maybe.
Quite possibly. But you go up a spiral staircase in front of you. And eventually you come out to you hear the of like wisping wind as you are now in the base of what would have been a large tower, and you look up and it's just open to the sky, and there's a couple of floors that are semi-intact above you. Like where like you'll see certain, but like the whole, there's sort of like central hole, like the center of the tower where all the floors were is also sort of caved in. So some levels still have like half of rooms or some full intact rooms, but you can, in certain positions, essentially see right to the top, right through. Do you know what part of the tower we're looking for here?
I'm going to recast locate object so I can see exactly where direction and how far and all that.
You're looking about 5 floors. It like pings to you about 5 floors up, in a section where like there looks to be an entire corner wall missing, but you see just like one bit of what looks to be like the feet of a statue, like jutting out of the outer wall. With a little bit of like a platform of what would have been that floor in front of it.
I'll point it out. What the path to that place, is it looking?
Oh no, it's essentially floating. That's like the only thing that remains of that room that was there, and it's towards the very top of what's left of the tower and the body.
You see that bit there that kind of looks like it's floating, not attached to anything else other than the wall? The bit that's going to be like ridiculously impossible to get to? That bit right there. That's where it is right there.
Well, it's no wonder we didn't find it.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. That's... I think now might be the time that those boots come into handy.
Braun's back at the graveyard.
Oh, Braun didn't come with us. Fuck.
You stay with the bulldozer.
He went to get the bulldozer. You can go get him.
How high up is it, for reference?
5 stories.
5 stories, like 50 feet.
Yeah.
And the floors are not intact. Oof. Or is it on the outside? Sorry.
No, it's interior, like the half statue. It's both. So it's part of the exterior wall, but it has like a carved statue on the interior of it. And on the interior side, there is like 10 foot of floor beneath it, and the remainder of this statuette wall piece. And it is about 5 stories up with various, like some floors have like a staircase bit, and then a floor, and then you've got to go like a different part. Imagine a jumping puzzle.
Sure. Yeah. And Brett is just kind of looking at this like, yeah. If Brett just takes a moment to kind of look outside, with the cathedral in its position, like, are there any sections of the city here, assuming that we need to just get this thing out of this building with a fucking quickness, are there any sections that Breton can make out that don't seem like they are currently habitated? Like, how close are we to the graveyard?
Oh, that would be directly essentially above the graveyard.
Okay. So if we were to potentially want to just toss this thing out, it'd be pretty easy to just hit it towards the graveyard, depending on how big and heavy the piece was. Okay, that's good information. Breton could probably handle that. Breton is just going to look at this with a frown on his face and say, I'm going to have to climb this, aren't I?
Well, better you than me, lad.
I do have 2 uses of Misty Step to get over some of the more difficult things. So can I see? Can I like try and plot a path from just looking there? What I'll be able to climb and what I could do if I used like a couple of 30 feet teleports.
You feel like you could get like halfway up, possibly, or like with a running jump, possibly. Like if you climbed a little bit, Misty stepped, and then you could. Like to one area or one room, there might be a way that you could wiggle around yourself to then run, leap, jump, Misty Step to the top area where the little platform that's in front of this bit. The problem is you don't have a full like perspective of what's in front of you kind of thing until you're kind of up there, or at least partially up there.
It's either that or I free climb it. I have done this before. It's not too different from the mountainside, to be entirely honest.
I mean, if
it would be it'd be like a medium level climb. Like there's enough like handholds and somewhat complete rooms that it will be doable. It'd just take time and a couple of athletic check kind of thing.
I'm going to. There's a string around my neck with 2 little vials on it. And I'm going to pull one of the vials off and give it to Breton. If you slip, Featherfall potion. And I'm going to give him my only Featherfall potion.
Breton will take that and kind of tuck it into his belt and nod and say, I'll keep that in mind if I end up falling a little farther than I intended.
Depends on which side of the building you fall.
I don't suppose there's any like. And Brett will look around. Does it look like there's any chalk that he can quickly just crush up and like smack his hands with?
There's
just
definitely
help his grip.
Probably not chalk,
Just
but
stone.
you could powder up some stone very easily. There's enough rubble elsewhere.
Sure. Just something to help his grip.
Sure.
Yes,
okay.
That's really good.
And you begin climbing.
And the over 350-pound man is about to start trying to free climb the interior.
In plate mail. In plate mail.
In plate mail, yes. No, he's closer to 400 pounds.
Yep.
All right.
Fucking Goliath, let's go.
He's good at this, okay?
Okay. Go on, give me an athletics check.
All right. 28.
Plus 12, Jesus. Okay, you were the right choice.
As Breton begins to like power man his way up, like grabbing bits of rock, like pull upping himself, like swinging and grappling, and
it's like something out of Ultimate Ninja Warrior.
Yeah. As he begins to do that, we're going to zoom out again and go back to Science Party, who are looking to make a scanner to scan for dragons within their tunnel.
So yes, we have been discussing this a little bit. We do have a shard of the divination lens.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea at the moment is to use a combination of James's brand and the identification method with that, with the lens, and the fact that Zep can craft a gem of seeing in 2 levels' time, basically to, substitute the fact he's not at a high enough level yet to do it innately, use enchanting materials and crafting materials to make a lens for people to, or somebody to look through to do a scan.
Okay. Give me an artificer check at advantage with the help of James, and we'll see what you use.
All right. $17, 30 plus 5, 35. Oh wait, advantage. Let's do it again. Yeah, I'll take the 35.
Okay. At the cost of about 250 goals worth of enchanting material, and about a pint of James's blood, you managed to infuse the branding mark in a at least semi-lasting fashion onto the lens. And you feel the lens sort of resonate and kind of almost glow a little bit, like it has like a little pinkish hue from it now. It's like the once, I think it was, what color was the divination lens before? It was
yellow.
it was yellow, right?
Yeah.
It's in the general chat. Divination was yellow.
Divination.
Yeah. So combining with the blood, it makes like an orange, like sort of searchlight looking thing once you hold it. But it's like imagine like an orange parcan like light. It's about that big, and you've got like a little metal frame, but you can hold it up in front of your face, and like Zep, you hold it up and you look at James, and James looks like a ghostly white. The eyes glow red. Behind him is this like dark shadow of a creature sort of aura behind him, and yeah, it's kind of like you feel like that this might be working.
Do you want to have a try? It is kind of cool, the things you can see. Maybe cool is not the right word.
Sometimes peering beyond the veil is a bit terrifying, although interesting at the same time. It makes you want to look more, but tear your eyes away.
No, I've seen enough. Here.
I'll do the same. I'll look through it. I'll look around the room and stuff.
Yeah, you see Zep. Looks like Zep. Look at Darius. Looks like Darius. You look at your own hand. You see, like blood dripping from it. You look at Zedaar, and you see just Zedaar. Well, did you know with Zedaar you see like a sort of ethereal after image of Zedaar behind her.
Like an echo,
like a shimmer, more like
okay.
Like imagine Zedaar is in multiple planes at once, kind of thing, or at least an essence of her is tapped into said planes, and that kind of thing. But yeah, you feel like that this is similar to what you see with your brand.
Okay.
Then I believe it is time for us to bring Gwithmin, was her name, the captain. Into what we were planning here, because they will need to provide guards, or at least somebody that she trusts to keep this watch.
Yes, I believe this is definitely something that we shouldn't let slip out of our direct control.
Then perhaps it should be our crew that handles it as a third party.
I agree. Maybe, what was that Minotaur's name? Like, our first mate? Right?
Yes. Whose name I always remember as if it was my own name.
I think he'd be great standing watch. Sort of like, a bouncer.
Yes, I agree.
Checking identification and whatnot.
Holding the thing up. Are those trainers?
No trainers in here tonight.
There's character sheets in the handouts area.
Yeah, I made my notes as well. But yes, I agree. Yeah, he is the right choice. Someone who is intimidating enough to lend authority to this process, but also somebody that we trust implicitly.
It's Faston.
Thank you.
Ah, yes.
Faston. I remembered this, see.
You also have Alshar, the Marine captain, as well. Like, you have other named characters you could use.
Maybe they can stand there in case they do find somebody. We could employ both of them to this task.
That is the other aspect of this. If we do identify someone, we do not wish to give it away that we have, in fact, identified them. Part of our entire idea of being here is for them to lead us to where they organize.
Well, we are trying to... Darius, you might be able to back me up on this, and when you have time to think about it. Maybe we can organize it so that as people come through, they are sent to the different aid centers, and we send these particular individuals to a consistent, the same aid center.
I like this plan. This is very clever.
Darius thinks it's a good idea. Darius isn't here right now.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was kind of like, we could think about it later, because I know that he's going to be heading up that thing. So just as a point of note to mention it to him, this is going to be something else we're including in.
So yeah, who do we want to let in that they are individuals to follow? Maybe the Order of Stone people.
They seem like they're trying to stay hidden. I don't know
Which
if
is why they would be
members to help us. Maybe they could... Go ahead, sorry.
The very fact that they have stayed hidden this well would suggest to me that they are good at remaining hidden.
True.
And we have identified that we have the same goal.
And they are trying to find these individuals as well, and I think they have a certain passion for administering justice against these individuals.
Precisely. That is why I think that they should be the ones to manage this aid station.
Okay, so we'll have Faston and his marine friend. They'll man the divvying up, the scanning operation. The Stonekeepers will guard the location that we send these marked individuals to. Right? That sounds like the gist of it, right?
I believe so.
Well, I think we have a plan for getting rid of the corruption in this city.
Good. Then I can get back to building the tunnel. Now, where did I park my bulldozer? It seems to be gone.
It does seem to be gone. In fact, you probably noticed Braun just driving it towards a graveyard.
I should see where he is going with this thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Braun!
I guess me and Darius will go off and start organizing the plan we just came up with.
Yep, sure. Okay. are you gonna set up a separate healing station in particular, or?
I think we would just choose one. We would just make sure that it's being watched by the Stonekeepers.
Yeah, and kind of like make sure that we are slowly taking some of the less critical patients and moving them towards a different facility. Kind of just like, oh, this is a closer one. We're trying to open up some more space. Some of these people are met their triage point. They're going to go to the next level of care, like intensive care to, long-term stay.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Okay, you can start facilitating that. And who's looping in the guard captain?
Well, that was the question. Are we?
Or are you not?
I would like to talk to Darius about that when they have a moment.
No problem.
Because that's a point where the less people who know might be better.
Yep, sure.
Kind of thing. So I just want to get their opinion.
Okay, no problem. Okay, zooming back out to the Rien. And I need to do some actual, describing now, because this is the first time anyone's been to Seat. And ironically, the second place I ever designed in this world. So, Ruby and Zedaar, you are met by a... You are in a smaller sort of bandstand kind of shape building. Like it's an external teleportation circle, it seems. Surrounding you is a forest of thick trees, sort of like redwoods, like giant trees. And you seem to be outside of the city. Ahead of you, you see the large, as large, if not taller, than these giant redwood-esque trees themselves, a city wall of Seat, which is made of this sort of deep grey wood. And where you are is probably a mile away. And at this bandstand that you've sort of teleported into, I'm using bandstand for the shape, there are two guards posted. And yeah, you see the city walls in front of you. The twin hills that lie in the center of the city as well. You can just see that you can just about see them over the tops of the wall, but the actual full-on capital of the Rien you don't quite see into, because these great tree walls are just huge. But two Huskars stand guard of this location, and he goes, we weren't expecting anyone to be coming through, but welcome. Can I take your names for the transit log?
Zedaar Wystongjir.
Is that spelled with a G or a J?
Both.
Right.
Yes.
He flips the quill and pad towards you. Just like, please.
Zedaar will you know what? He's gonna stripe it down, and then he's gonna put the translation also in Draconic.
Okay. And that's fucking easy.
S-O-L, not S-O-U-L.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say it's like spell it.
Right.
Of the Skyfire Adventuring Company.
Adventuring Company. And okay. Yep. Well, I haven't seen these names in the log before, but there's all sorts of nobility have these circles. So, welcome to Seat, and enjoy your stay.
Yeah, about that. She'll reach into her pocket and pull out the ring.
It's not a ring. It was like it's a seal. Yeah, it's like a gold. It's like a it's like a medallion, sort of embossed medallion shape. He goes, it's the symbol of the Crown Prince. Well, definitely enjoy your stay. Is there anything we can do to help get you situated?
Would actually like to go find him if he's about. I'm assuming not here, but we have never been here before.
Right. Well, welcome to the humble capital of the Reach.
Humble.
Not the Reach. The Rien. My head. I've been playing a lot of Game of Thrones. It's the Rien.
I wonder where this place is based off of.
It's not. It's completely different to that. It's more Rohan than anything.
With trees.
It's Rohan with trees, and yeah, it's essentially what that is. The Crown Prince is at the front lines. He's leading our forces against the Eladrin right now, but obviously his father's in the capital.
Sure.
Yeah, it's so if you're coming to see him in particular, I'm sorry, this isn't quite the right place.
Well, next best thing, I guess. She'll look to Zedaar. Go see the Emperor.
If it is something that the time could be arranged for it. We understand he must be a very busy individual at the moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd be there too, but I'm too old, sadly. But you folks have a lovely.
How old is he?
This guy looks to be like 60.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Like he's got Huskal armor, and like he looks to have been a trained fighter, but he's a reservist at this point. Like,
you know what they say? Beware our old men in the profession where young men frequently pass. You should wink at him.
He kind of goes red. Well, thank you, Madam Lady. But yeah, if
I was to go to the castle and find an audience, what would be the appropriate way to go about that?
Oh, okay. Well, you have the prince's seal, so that'll get you quite a way. I would attempt to speak with his younger brother first, rather than the Iranian emperor himself. His younger brother is currently acting is a steward at a house kind of thing, day manager of the castle kind of deal. He'd be able to organize any other audiences, and that'd be enough to get you in his door, that's for certain.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, any welcome. As you said, you've never been to the city before. I highly recommend that you. There's an inn in the center of town which has a really, really lovely cranberry mead, and I heartily recommend that. There's and if you get time, definitely visit the cathedral. It's got some of the most wonderful stained glasses I've ever seen. And the guy kind of just starts
It's okay. I'm not here for vacation, unfortunately. I do have a lot of business to attend.
Oh,
thank you.
Yep, no problem. Good day to you. And you begin to walk down the road.
Going towards Seat.
Yeah, and you get to the gates of the walls are huge. Like they seem to be of you look at them, and it's you actually, Zedaar, you definitely recognize the material that the wall of the city is made out of, because these are steel willows. Because you had a steel willow shield.
He did have a steel willow shield.
And these are ancient steel willow like logs, and they are massive, so huge. And then actually you pass through the main gate, and actually behind them they're like reinforced with real thick stone. So it's like,
Does this place look like it's been attacked?
No, not at all.
We know there's a seal here, but nothing has happened.
No.
Yes.
He was waiting for us to come visit.
Yeah, I was like just looking at Zedaar and going, I would be very careful to whom we address here from this point on. If this place hasn't been attacked, it means there are probably infiltrators here.
Zedaar has been here before, hasn't he?
No. I don't think so.
We're in the Re-Inn. We're not in the Nardathal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've been to Gervalu, you haven't been
I was in
to...
Gervalu. This is Seat beyond Gervalu. Fair enough.
Yep.
Yes. So I am a little curious. You came here under the expression that we would speak with the Crown Prince, but the Crown Prince is not here. It's not gonna pause for a second, like, you know what? I'm sure the plan will work out. I guess I thought it would be more planned out.
From me?
You did say you were the far-thinking one.
Farther. It's a very short bar.
So Zedaar just kind of nods.
Right, so you do think farther into the future, but it is still hard to see your nose in front of your face. Duly noted.
Sorry, I didn't exactly think to send him a message, but...
Zedaar just drops his head. So we're completely unannounced.
Yes, but that can still work to our advantage, which means they don't know we're coming, which means we can't be spied on.
It also means that we are completely unexpected. They may not have time for us, and this is all a waste of time. But optimism!
Look, if it doesn't work out, I can take us to the front. I've been to the front.
We are going to be at this for a few days. Yes, I understand that now.
I'm sure the Skyfire Adventuring Company is doing wonderful, not getting into any sort of trouble whatsoever.
Just like a 3-second pan to Breton holding onto the side of a building, like 300 feet above the ground.
When the eventual anime comes out, that's exactly what happens. It's like it's like snap cut to that kind of climbing sort of thing, and then go back to you guys walking down this main road in the Seat. Also, Seat is a interesting location. So the wall is kind of higher, and the actual city kind of dips down towards the coast. And before you see a lovely, at this time of day, time zones. Yes, so for you currently...
This road, it's probably only actually like 6 or 7 time zones over.
It's almost morning here. Like, because they've just gone into the evening. 2, 3, 4, no, it's dead of night, actually. Sorry. But you do see moonlight glistening off the Estamir, the giant bay in front of the city, and there's the flickers of the lights in houses and smokestacks above building tops. A lot of whitewashed stone and wooden construction in this. The
math that you had to do just there to do the time zone, and also remember that this world rotates the opposite direction of ours, so it would be backwards from what we would expect.
Yep. Yep.
Jet lag's a bitch. Yeah. Suddenly Ruby's like, I'm really awake right now because it's, bright middle of the day in the Theocracy.
Yeah, because you left the Theocracy about 5 p.m. and you've probably gone forward 5, so... And the sun sets...
She's getting tired.
It's west to east, so yeah, it's like... You're now like walking through the streets at midnight, kind of thing.
By the way, whether he's here or not, we could still talk to somebody of importance. This is just the leverage to get the conversation going.
I feel like it would not be amiss if we cannot meet with the king to at least meet with the...
I'm going to use the term cardinal because I can't think of another good term for who would be the responsible leadership in a religious organization.
It's King Bishop is the head of the Albion Pantheon.
Speaking with the king bishop or even the leads of the respective faiths to basically give them the ultimatum to make a decision and decide someone, or it will be decided for them.
Looks at Zedaar. When did you get so boastful on that?
People are suffering and the church is doing nothing. That is unacceptable.
Didn't expect that.
The church is for the people. If they are not serving the people, they are not doing their job.
Hello, beautiful. That is a burble kitten.
She's the screen cat now. Okay. Well, let's go. Are you hungry? Do we need to stop first, or?
No, I'll be fine.
Okay. I have expended a good chunk of my spells for the day, so...
If you're hungry, I can make us some food.
I can also make food.
Since we've established, Soul has no food on her. She gave it all to the people.
She did.
Yeah, she checks her bag of colding, and it's actually surprisingly empty for once.
I should restock, but we'll do that another time. I also don't think we're going to get an audience this evening, so why don't we stop at the tavern for the night?
Very well.
Go back in the morning.
Does that mean that when we were in Lagrang's Land, it was even later in the morning? Or like later at night?
Yes, you've gone back an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
okay.
same time zone.
Okay.
You're just polar north of where you are. So it was probably like 11 p.m.
Sure.
Oh, wibbly wobbly timey whammy.
You're the one that decided both to have the time zone flipped upside down, which just goes against every aspect of what our brains are trained to do.
Yep, and yeah, it's only aided by the teleportation. But okay, yeah. So are you guys going straight to the palace? Yeah.
No, we're gonna go to the tavern and rest.
Okay, go attempting.
We'll probably just take a night and do it tomorrow morning.
Sure. Okay, then with that, we'll let you guys head to the tavern, rest up, and just we'll come back tomorrow. But with that, we'll jump back to Breton climbing the wall. Breton, it's at this point you pull yourself up and roll beneath this like half wall statue that remains.
Mm-hmm.
About 20 minutes of straight climbing.
Getting close and kind of giving it a good look. How heavy does this piece look? Assuming that it is just solid stone and estimating what Breton would know just how heavy that might be, how heavy does he think it is?
Pretty freaking heavy, because this is still attached to the brickwork of the wall. Like it is an outer wall piece of a middle of the fifth floor up of the main tower that went massively into the air. Like it is like probably 2 Bretons wide in thickness. Just to give you the picture, you've seen Lord of the Rings in the third one, where with the bits of like Minas Tirith that they load into the trebuchets to throw back. It's like that.
Breton can lift up to half a ton, but I don't think even he can pick up something like this if it's that heavy.
It would also need to be detached from the wall.
Detached from the wall, which could be awkward. Shit. Alright. Breton will probably then just call down. So this looks like it's going to be too big to move. If we're going to do anything about this, we should have somebody come up and actually see to just removing the taint from it altogether. I don't think it'll be a danger so long as the necrotic energies that are on it are removed from it.
Give me a quick investigation check.
Sure. Ten.
This doesn't look that necrotic.
It doesn't look that necrotic.
Yeah. This looks to have like burning and explosion damage and wear and tear, but there's very little of it that looks to be that same sort of essence where the rock looks like it's dying.
Okay. Then we'll rewind that. Frank just kind of reaches a hand to it, not touching it just yet, but just like holding a hand out to it. Does he feel anything at all?
Not really. It like your divine senses aren't going off.
Then I guess after he's sitting here for a second, then instead he will call down. So, good news and bad news. The good news is Valmir, I think you'll. I don't think we have to worry about this one. Bad news, Valmir. I think your little trick was detecting every piece of the tower that broke off, not just the ones that were also tainted.
There shouldn't have been pieces of tower. It should have been pieces of the. So it looked like a little fountainy thing.
Yeah, the bowl statuette that was part of the wall.
Yeah.
So you found parts of the bowl statuette.
Yeah.
So that means whatever exploded to cause these pieces to fly out is not what caused the one in the churchyard to be necrotic. So something happened either after it fell there, or mid-flight, or something. Which just raises more questions.
After about another 15 minutes of climbing, if he wants to, Breton can have come down.
Breton must steadily climb himself down, yes.
So you can have this conversation together.
Well, we have good news. After the guy is still there, it's like, so...
Oh, he's not leaving you guys until you're out of this.
No, it's totally fair. Because, obviously, so... That's not an immediate problem for the cathedral, but if there are more pieces that have been necrotized, then...
Yeah.
If you have any paladins who are authorized to move within the cathedral, you could have them search for any desecration that has taken place.
Oh, I definitely will. I'll put that on the long list of other things to do. Desecration's definitely going to be high up there, though. I'm very glad that none of us have to climb that up there again with a fuck ton of holy water or anything like that, though. That's a bloody relief, that is.
Speaking of, I don't suppose you have any that we could probably take care of the one that's in the graveyard.
I can probably source you some holy water. Yeah, I don't carry the. I carry my. He pulls out a flask. This is my holy water, but it's that's a different story.
If we can confirm that it works and we can spread knowledge, if anybody else finds stuff like this in the city, then this can be used to fight it and counteract it.
How much do you reckon you need? A bucket? A barrel? Like, how big's the piece?
He'll, we'll both of us will do it, and Breton will just confirm about anvil size is what we saw in the graveyard.
Oh, okay, I'll get a barrel then, probably. I'll find a priest, I'm sure.
Of holy water.
We'll get our resident arcane expert on it. We'll do some checking. We'll do some testing so we're not just wasting any either.
Oh, aye. Okay. So you're done here. I can escort you out, or...
Sure.
I think we'll be fine for now.
Okay. Well...
We can only hope, anyways.
Follow me, then. As you exit this part of the cathedral, make another perception check.
24.
So, as we're leaving, I will have asked for the featherfall back again.
Sure, you can have your featherfall potion back, of course.
Thank you. 7 on my perception.
So, Breton, you got, sorry?
24.
24. Breton, as you pass down one of the corridors, there's like a little quad. Like, just has a fountain in the middle that's mostly frozen over, but there's like 6 or 7 people, various sort of heraldry on them, kind of arguing or having a heated conversation, should I say. One of them looks to be in like traditional Atrian armor, from what you can see.
Mm-hmm.
They're not directly partaking in the argument. It seems to be 2 others. You'd say you assume that this would be a couple of at least a few sort of higher ups in various holy orders, perhaps having a Barney.
Right, just say, I don't suppose you know what that's about, do you?
It's the ongoing power struggle that's happening in this building. If he points, that one there is it's to one of the one sitting down. That's my boss. The 2 having an argument. That's Anselm and Patricia. They're 2 of the other
presumed heads of holy orders. Well, in fact, those two have actually been ordained in as the new Grand Masters of their various orders. And this whole group is the people who are deciding what to do with the prisoners. It's been an ongoing topic of conversation.
Well, I hope they don't do anything too soon. We were hoping to have a conversation with them.
You need to get in line. You see the those fellas over there came from Atria, and they're 3 weeks into their investigation and haven't got much else out of them. So don't worry. I don't think anything's going to happen anytime soon. Anyway.
Sure.
Sorry, no, it's been about a week, not 3. That would be me mistiming things. But he leads you past the wall of guards and sends you on your way. I'll meet you in the graveyard once I can find a priest in a barrel.
For now, why don't you leave it with Gwydwyn, and we will keep in touch with them. We were trying to move it from the graveyard to a safer area so it wasn't constantly trying to reanimate the dead.
I'll have someone bring a barrel outside and keep it warm so it doesn't freeze over. Okay.
Right. Good luck to you.
Hey, and you. Don't go getting all necrotic now.
And I guess we will make our way back to the graveyard, see if we can't track down how far Braun's made progress.
Zep, you may have...
finally meet up with Zep, because he's there.
Zep, you're with Braun, and Braun explains to you the ongoing situation of giant necrotic... No, there's been a giant necrotic stone. It fell from the tower, it broke through the wall, and now it's over there, and it's slowly bringing the dead back to life in the graveyard.
And the bulldozer was supposed to help this how?
Well, we didn't want to touch it ourselves, so we wanted to push the boulder out of the area to stop bringing the dead back to life.
Okay, this I understand.
We were worried that it would kill us if we touched the rock.
Yeah, I would not touch this thing, but it does have my curiosity, and I will take a look.
Sure.
Oh yeah, detect that shit.
What would I roll for this?
For you, Arcana, probably.
Okay. And because I always forget that I can actually do this, but I will cast guidance on myself as well.
Sure.
I'll also explain to Zep about the theory of it becoming necrotized either after falling or during falling, but
this is probably happening as you're making your way out, so it will be towards the end of this little investigatory bit that you guys come into it, because Zep and Braun have been over there with a bulldozer for a little while now, at least.
Fair. Okay.
The guidance was a 2. It didn't seem to roll, but it was, so it's 28.
28. Fucking hell. Zep, it seems like the necrotic side of this, where it's sort of like the stone itself has melted and almost died, it seems to be on one side, the side furthest away from the tower. The other side seems to be where this like bowl, etc. is. Seems to be like more burning or like explosive residue. It's got like a sooty texture to it, as from what you can see, and as you inspect without touching the boulder, and it seems like this. You make the assumption that this boulder was going at such a speed that it broke through something that has then afflicted necrotic energy onto the front of a hurling, speeding boulder, and then it's that necrosis that is now corrupting it and spreading.
Could I use Dispel Magic to try to contain the spread?
You can certainly try. What level?
I will go my maximum level, so 3. But this is just to contain. I'm not trying to dispel it.
Yeah. Sure. You definitely feel like that. You manage to you see that you're looking at the area around you, and some of the area back towards the graveyard, the snow begins to be able to settle again.
And I like to imagine that this is Zep with a spray bottle of some kind of anti-magic residue inside it. He's just spraying the boulder with this thing.
Like fucking antifreeze?
Yes.
It's like the de-icer for the windscreen of a car, exactly. But it's de-magic. I like that.
Sure. Okay. The rest of you can now the rest of you come back to seeing Zep with a spray bottle and Braun loading the boulder up.
Good to see that you're finally here and helping take care of things. We tried to find you earlier, but just couldn't.
You were doing the right thing, moving it away from here. I'm doing what I can to contain the spread of the necrosis, but my investigations would suggest that the boulder itself is not the culprit. Rather, it fell or smashed through something at great speed and was then contaminated.
That's what we figured as well, because other pieces of this rock, what this used to be, aren't actually afflicted with the necrosis.
That is good to know, but then where did it fall through to get the corruption?
It could have been a necrotic fish tank on one side of the room that this thing was in, that it went through. That's one.
For all we know, it hit one of the dragons or something on their way down, and that's what it slammed into.
But it fell from up there.
Yeah.
Can I see anything that it may have fallen through?
The big gap in the graveyard wall in front of you is one certain thing that has fallen through.
Probably not that.
What was the necroticness?
If the wall had been necrotic, things would have been rising already. Something to consider. But yes, we are doing the right thing, removing this and containing it somehow, though I'm not sure where we should take it.
There are lots of sections of city with rubble, but if we had a cleared section that doesn't have a current population or use, setting it there so it could be cordoned off safely so people don't just stumble upon it seems like the best idea.
Oh, yeah, I know a spot. And I would imagine I know a spot, because that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, you can find it.
The captain of the place where we were is also rummaging together a barrel of holy water. Maybe we could dump this thing into it.
It would certainly help.
I did sort of
like
also promise that we would try and find a ratio that would be useful for doing this, so we're not just wasting holy water over here. Presumably, if this works, there should be a ratio that works out properly for us.
I cannot
submergence.
I cannot say that I'm an expert when it comes to holy water, but we could make an estimate for sure.
What is the displacement of this thing? That's how much water we'll get into the barrel. So when we put the piece of rock into the barrel of holy water, the water goes just over the top of it. So it's just fully submerged in as little holy water as possible.
Do you want?
I don't do math of it. Good. That's a Zep thing.
I
do want.
Go for it, James.
I didn't. Oh, am I there?
No, but you sounded
okay.
like you were about to say math, so I'd rather have someone else take the wheel.
So you want to measure the mass of the boulder to make sure that you have just enough water in the bucket to make sure you don't spill any?
Well, there's a better way. We just have 2 barrels. We put it in the empty barrel. We pour the holy water from the full barrel into the empty barrel. I use my detect magic device and then see when it stops.
Yes, that's...
I was being smart by saying words like displacement.
Oh dear.
That's definitely how you determine what its mass is, but that's not. I don't know if magically that determines how much it takes to cure a desecrated item of its desecration.
Desecrated coconuts. Okay. Right. Okay. So. You are bought a second barrel to go with your barrel of holy water. You widen the top of the barrel to be able to get this stone inside because it's like anvil sized. How are you lifting it into the barrel?
Pulley.
Okay. Zep, give me an artificer check while you make another crane.
That's true, we have a crane. But I do not want to have it near the crane, because that's probably in use near people.
Yep. Are you doing this, and you've taken this to an area, a cleared space, where there used to be a house?
Just push it up a hill. Push it up a hill. Put the barrel at the like a little ramp, and then put the barrel at the bottom of the ramp, and it'll roll right into the barrel.
21.
Okay, you 5 gold of crafting material, and you make another crane. As you slowly rebuild this city by crane by crane. And yeah, you begin. Who is pulling the boulder? Like the other end of the winch system to, like.
I would imagine Breton and Braun.
Breton can handle that, yeah.
Breton, give me an advantage athletics check.
I'm like that guy who's like pretending to take a bunch of the weight, and is just like, yeah, I'm helping.
So you're being me.
With advantage, that is not a great roll. It is a 22.
Okay, it's tough. You get it just high enough to be able to get it and drop into the barrel without breaking the empty barrel. It is now in an empty barrel.
I will then use a siphon to start siphoning the holy water through a hose into this other barrel.
Okay. Like a teenager stealing petrol from a parked car, Zep begins to dump holy water onto this rock, which you see like kind of like the energy screams as the holy water hits the necrosis.
If one of you holds the hose, I will use Detect Magic to make sure that we are having an effect here. And then I will ritually cast Detect Magic as we are hosing this thing down.
It slowly feels like it's getting weaker. Can I take a vial of the holy water?
So what? From which end?
Not the steaming pile of necrotic stone end. The barrel of holy water end.
You can scoop up some holy water. Yes.
Sick.
We'll keep doing that until I don't get a reading.
After about 10 minutes of hose pipe pouring, the barrel looks to be like mostly submerging the rock and then some, and you are getting like the faintest reading until it finally stops.
You can pull the hose out. I think we have what we need.
I guess now it's more of a question of, was it suffusion in time, or was it more of a volume that caused it to finally lose its effect? Anyway, it worked, and that's good news.
How much holy water did it take in the end?
I'm not gonna do liquid
calculations.
Fuck you, Lambert.
Between sessions.
Yeah, so simplicity's sake, we'll just we have a number that we will give them, and that is the number that they can use. It doesn't need to be officially stated.
I was just curious.
Why do you want to know?
Just curious. Was that right?
Gallons.
Did it need the submersion?
30 gallons. There was a 50-gallon barrel. 30
I
gallons.
don't know what a fucking gallon is. Actually, yeah, it's useless telling me. 30 liters. 30. I have no way of visualizing how big that is.
30 bottles of Coke. No, 15.
How many cans of Monster would that fit in?
Well, they're what? 350 mil? Sometimes 360 mil?
500.
500 mils, so Let's go with 45 cans of Monster.
Sick. All right.
So basically, this is something in the ballpark of like 50 flasks of holy water.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
I guess the next bigger question is, it can either Zep or Breton or even Valmir at this point, because all of us have understanding here. Can we determine if the holy water that was used? This is probably a far easier question on you. Does it seem like the holy water has been corrupted at all, or does it seem like it might still be viable for use in other materials of this?
The holy water that's... Give me a religion check as you check this the water that's in.
Probably just water at this point.
Or like it could have also been burning away as it was purifying it. I got a 9.
It seems
Totally drinkable.
It seems like maybe it still looks like water.
I would not drink this.
You would hazard a guess that it has almost like acids and alkalis. The holy water is now just somewhat holy water or water or slightly corrupted water, perhaps. Depending on
my detect magic is not detecting anything.
Yeah.
It has evened itself out. It is now neutral. It is water. But I still would not drink it.
I wouldn't drink holy water either.
I wouldn't either.
I've done that.
Usually
Side
has feces
tangent.
in.
Yeah, side tangent. I've done that. Wasn't particularly nice. Anyway.
Good news is it's worked and we can report that, so that's one less problem that maybe people have to worry about. And also, the undead should be cleared, the graveyard should be set. Breton's going to do a quick patrol of the grounds and just to see if he gets a feeling of, does it seem like now that this is gone, have the undead settled?
It seems like
divine sense for that as well, maybe.
They're still up. There's just not more of them.
Yeah.
We go around clearing them.
Breton would just give a sad nod, like, yeah, probably the best idea. Unfortunate, but
bonk, back to sleep. Bonk, back to sleep. Bonk, back to sleep.
It's a shame that neither of you have turn undead or destroy undead, whatever.
We can turn undead. We can't destroy undead.
We can.
That's a cleric thing.
That's a cleric
If we
thing.
waited for Zedaar to get here, it'd be a lot easier.
They just go,
he can do this by himself.
They just go, get away! Get away! No! Not you! Bad! Get back into your sarcophagus! But yes. Considering where we're at with the session this week, I think I'm gonna bring us to a close here with Breton and Valmir just unlocking doors, knocking out undead to put them into politer terms, and consider we're now down 3 players, I would say that it's probably a good time to round us out until next week. So without further ado, all I have to do now is to thank everyone who's been here and playing with me. I have been joined by the wonderful DM Lake, Beth Dillingham, Lord Lambert, Commissar Roach, Ghibli Jam, Mordred Viking, and Kinda Odder. I've been Midgeman. This has been the Component Cast with the Elendor Chronicles, and we'll be back next week, same time. Bye-bye now.
Tools.
Bye.